Hello, everybody. Welcome to this fabulous day. We have some esports action for you. Going to be League of Legends in NECC. Going to be week 1. St. Clair Saints taking on Northwood. Definitely a huge matchup. We have Jobin and we have first time casting with Adam. How are we feeling tonight, buddy?
Feeling pretty good. Excited to see some League of Legends action here. You know, week 1, always important to get off to the right foot, and especially when we've got St. Clair with their new roster going up against a newer roster in Northwood in their own rights. We'll have to see how this all turns out because you always want to get that early step in the season, especially in a division as competitive as this Champions division that we're in.
Yeah, I know. So far, we've seen the league team. They've had a decent amount of action, whether it was through HughFest or these other online qualifiers. We've seen some pretty mixed results in some, but I think definitely some disappointing games, but a lot to look forward to and like a lot of bright spots as well. So what's one of the things, we'll start with just talking about the Saints. What's one of the things you think that they're going to try to either improve on from what we've seen so far, or one thing that maybe point of emphasis going into tonight's matchup?
I think the biggest thing is just finally getting all 5 members together, and that's been sort of the thing about these early online qualifiers. A lot of these American schools, they're starting in the middle of August and they're able to get their full roster there, as opposed to us where we start in September, didn't have everyone there for all of those online qualifiers. But since we've gotten all 5 members, and Alonso's been a really bright spot, sort of an unknown factor coming into the season, but really sort of shown up in their own rights. And even the bot lane there of Rockboom and Rafa, they have some tangible experience showing through on other leagues, in amateur and that sort of stuff. So being able to translate that over to collegiate, it's been quite seamless thus far. And of course, we've got the stalwart in the top lane, Ricky Lifflin, who's always been looking good. And Bakery Boy even coming in the first couple of weeks. Everyone's looked good in their own right. It's just about getting the band together, getting everyone on the same page.
And I know we've seen a bit of a mix in some of the picks in some of the games. I think there's definitely some limit testing or some, especially as the meta changes so frequently. We've seen a lot of people kind of moving off of certain champs, trying to place things a certain way. So far, I just wonder if you have any idea, do you have any info on maybe what Northwood might try to come in with tonight? I know certain teams obviously have a style they like, but ultimately you have to play into the matchups as well.
Yeah, and Northwood, they have some known names on them. It's not really known as a 5-man squad. Izo up in the top lane, he was on Twitter for the longest time just saying, man, Maokai sucks. Maokai gets massive buffs. Really going to be a pick that we're looking out for. If it's not banned by St. Clair here, very likely that they're going to pick that one up early. Reppy in the mid lane, constantly challenger level assassin player. Lots of Katarina, lots of Akali, lots of champions like that who are going to look to punish the lane opponent early on, look to roam around the map. That's going to be someone we have to watch out for as well. And in the bot lane there, Haru, really well known for playing those enchanters as well. Coached by Keelix on the side of Northwood. Known name in the amateur scene as well. So they've got some name recognition there. It's more so how are they going to put it together. Of note, St. Clair played against them in an activation game last week. Pretty clean victory by St. Clair over them. Of note, Alonso going absolutely sicko mode on the Trundle there as well.
So I wonder, one thing I want to get into for the Saints, I know, as we said, we've seen a lot of different picks. We saw Alonso on the Trundle. We saw a bunch of different mix-ups. What do you think would be an ideal comp for St. Clair based on what we've seen so far? Either we know this is like a comfort pick or this is going to be really meta. What do you think what kind of idea might they pull out or try to pull out against Northwood? Knowing what you know, obviously, about the mid lane and all the other info.
Yeah, I think that realistically, we're going to have to see what the mid laner picks up. If they're going to blind pick Reppy, some sort of assassin, going to be a little bit challenging. Of note, game 1, St. Clair's on blue side, so they won't have that counter pick possibility. Very likely that we're going to see an early or a late assassin pick coming through in the mid lane, R5 most likely. We'll see what they play around in the bot lane. I mean, Rockboom and Rafa have really grown into their own in a lot of ways, with Misfortune being so strong right now, a very easy blind pick as well. There's some other champions that we've seen from Rockboom, specifically the Tristana, that is something to keep an eye on as well. So very curious to see how that turns out in the draft. But of course, there's some changes. Of course, we have a new patch coming through as well, so we'll have to see what ends up coming through.
Yeah, I know the patch changes, so many nerfs, so many buffs coming through, and that's kind of the hard thing about League is that the game, Riot, they see it with Valorant as well. Riot doesn't really care about people complaining about changes. They'll change one thing, and then they'll change 30 other things to justify that one change. Instead of we'll revert the one change. They're like, no, we're going to double, triple, 10x down. We're going to go change a million other things just to justify our changes here. So that's how it's always really interesting to see. But I know what kind of I know we've seen the Hecarim mini rework was recent. We saw the Uda rework. What do you think? What do you think is the most solid jump? Now we have the nerfs and the buffs on screen there as well.
Yeah, I think especially with this patch, it was sort of keeping it stable. The main thing is this is going to be Worlds patch. This is the patch Worlds is played on. You don't want to make too many major overarching changes. Things to really point out here. Hecarim getting a little bit of a nerf. Don't think it's substantial enough that it will be out of the meta. I think it's very likely we still see it picked up. The Misfortune getting a little bit of a damage nerf. The Lulu getting the polymorph nerf is actually something I'm really focused on because I think that is going to be a champion that takes away the agency of a lot of hyper carries, especially with, if we look at Worlds, some of the Eastern teams really like to play around them. But in terms of buffs, it's nothing too crazy. Lee Sin going to get his Worlds buffs, Thresh getting a Worlds buff. It's nothing too insane, but overall, I think it's a very minor patch. I don't think we're going to see too many changes in the meta because of this.
Yeah, and I think I definitely have to agree, obviously. And these are a lot of changes that were coming off of the back of other changes, right? We see the Udyr and the Hecarim changes based off of, all the previous reworks and a bunch of other big changes. So, like I said, I don't think it'll change really what St. Clair wants to do as far as maybe what comp they're going to go for. As I said, nothing of really not that there's nothing of value, but nothing that's going to steer them away from probably picking what they want to pick. So definitely very, very interesting. But I am very curious to see how this game plays out. They'll say week 1 of NECC. Do you think you want to go for a more comfort playstyle? Or do you kind of try to bust out some tricks, go deep in the bag there for game 1, knowing that okay, we can kind of not give this one away, but it's early in the season. We can test a couple things out here.
Yeah, I think specifically game 1, it's going to be very safe, very stock standard coming through. Game 2, game 3 is where you get a little bit of fun, especially in a best of 3. That's what we're expecting. But I believe we should be getting into draft shortly here. Once we get in there, we'll be able to see what they actually opt to go for there.
Okay, yeah, so hopefully getting into draft there in a second. I'm really curious to see, again, I wonder what kind of idea the Saints are going to go for. I'm really curious to see, because a lot of teams, you can do a lot of different things, whether you want to go, full engage, go a lot of poke, try to, play for a lot of kiting and stuff. There's so many different things that you can do, so I'd be really curious to see what kind of, I say especially what kind of picks and bans come across, because we see a lot of times, Ricky gets his, 2 or 3 top picks banned out, but a lot of times we see now that, there's, justifiably, 25 champs you could ban and make a really good case for it, so I'm really curious to see, if teams want to keep going these top-heavy bans for Ricky, or they want to play more for the bot side, which the bot side seems to be cause problems for most of the teams, obviously, as the meta stands as it is now.
Exactly, and I'm curious to see what some of these other teams are going to bring to the table as well. If we can look across at the teams in this division, we get to see some really strong names that St. Clair is going to be going up against. Of course, with the format of NECC, you've got 8 teams in your divisions, you've got 7 best of 3 matchups throughout your regular season. Whoever ends up on top is really going to be that focal point.
Yes, and I think we are going to take a very quick break here, just getting into the draft and everything, but we'll catch you guys in just a couple minutes with hopefully some League of Legends action.
For a dive, Tristana's going to get the bomb off on Samira. Trundle is going to pick up the kill with just an auto attack and going to pick up another kill. Now,
just not having a fun time, and Namwen going to walk into that tri-bush and just find Timmy's himself there, and there it is, the Trundle damage coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4 smacks, going to find himself a double kill. Can he find the third on this Wukong? It's going to be Rockboom who finds it, and that is
free.
The mid laner and support actually grouping up there to go steal the Trundle's blue buff there, Saint side blue buff. And now it's Ricky. I don't think he knew that was a 1v4 when he engaged, but a huge ult is going to come through. Timmy's on the rotation. Rafa and Bakery Boy are there as well. Huge ult coming out from Rafa as well. The knockup is going to be good, and the stuns are just so good. The damage is there. Yeet.
Really excited to see what the future holds for Saints. But we do see Liliana and Wukong going in on the Tristana here. Lulu does have to pop ulti to make sure that Rockboom can last a little bit longer. He's able to pick up the kill on Leona and just instantly turn on the Wukong, getting both of them. The fight does continue with Lissandra sadly having to try and escape, ulting herself for a little bit more HP and a little bit more control. Samir goes in with the ultimate but isn't able to find anybody, and St. Clair just wipes everybody. Rockboom makes it out alive. That was
They're just using the Baron to save their own base.
Yeah. Rockboom is doing so much. Oh my god. The Lissandra did have to pop ulti there in order to survive for a little bit longer, but Timmy's is just going to come up and finish her off. Leona's going to try and go in on Rockboom to stop him from killing off Samira, but is able to pick up the kill, and it looks like Saints are just going to close out the game. Right.
You're going to see all 5 players just start going in for these Nexus turrets. I love the melee range Tristana. You can't beat it.
You really can.
Flashing to hit up that knockup, but he's going to go golden. And it seems like that's going to be the end. Saints taking, we assume, their first 2 games in NECC preseason.
So.
We didn't get to see the end of the first game, but not good enough. Demos coming through. Zerk's not able to find the shot, though. The ball's just out of his reach. And it's Quint with the second one. 2 out of 3 players on the Saints now finding themselves a goal.
And it's a clean one. I wish I could go back and take a look at that initial shot. It might be looking towards game 30, but at the same time, they're not going down to the fight here.
Yeah, it's not like they're not taking the opportunities when they arise. It's just the problem is one player down. They don't arise too often. Quint gonna find the third for the Saints there. Second for him this game. There ain't much you can do at this point. 2 goals left. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Illinois. But honestly, gotta hand it to them. Yeah, while it was 1-1, they were battling it out in their own crease.
This first game, and now it's going to be Saints kind of stuck on the defensive side.
Yeah, they are playing a lot of defense as of these past few seconds, but it's Brisk with another breakaway there. LMC not in the right position to stop it. And look at the way he just lets this bounce, dribbles it all the way in, and it just sails straight into the net. Nick trying to catch up with Brisk that whole time, but the more time that this ball spends in half court right on that center line, Brisk, watch it roll in, watch it bounce in, just a slow one. And look at his teammate there. I believe it was Ramen who was in the crease there battling it out. Yeah.
Immediately.
Wicket away, yeah. Great way to capitalize on that slow shot there from Brisk and just allow it to sail into the net. No crazy shots on net like we've seen in the past few games here in this first minute, but unless Nitrix wants to change that.
Hang on a second, this could turn into a breakaway opportunity, and it does! After the fake from Nitrix, holy smokes, what a play. I'm thinking to myself, why is Nitrix charging through?
Yeah.
He has like 10 boosts, he can't do anything. He just wanted to tip it backwards. Y'all might call it synergy, that is trust. I will go down until I am...
Is a Fade Ult gonna be returned?
Hard Force here coming through. They're using all their ultimates, everything that they can. So much util being burned, but Scrubby finds one already with the Tour de Force.
Yeah, flash coming through from Shen. Is he gonna be getting in there with that ultimate? But it's Ems with 3 with the Spectre. Mamaji coming in with the knives. Can they make the 1v3 eco round and thrive? But it's actually Jello and Sushi with the first 2 kills from the Saints there. Caillou finding his own onto Ali, but Ali taking down Casper.
Enemy remaining.
Caillou though, great fights coming out. That's 3 headshots in the round and 3 kills gonna come out.
Yeah, Caillou just basically...
This aggressive right off the starting of the round, especially on B. Caillou gonna take down Tyler as well. Casper still on.
A special little interview, as the League of Legends match against Northwood is happening today. We're going to have a little word in with the coach, Tyler. Going to be Lear Lynn. And happy to have you on board, man. Just how your thoughts going into tonight and just the season overall in general finally getting started.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited for kind of our team. I think currently we have some of the best progression out of any of the collegiate teams I've worked with. We've got a really solid, good motivation from all of the lads, and I think I'm excited to see what they can do long term in the season. So far, our results have been looking great, so let's see what we can keep doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, looking overall at the state of the division as well, being placed into one of the champions divisions, we've got a couple of really strong teams in there. Are there any schools that you're really looking forward to playing, or any schools that you're sort of wary of in terms of how they might do against us?
I think the only team that I'm really concerned about, and not really concerned in a we're gonna lose way, but I think might be a challenge, is a Fisher. I know they've had a really strong program, but outside that, we've consistently beat all the other teams in scrims. Our qualifiers were really clean against all the teams, so I don't imagine that there's going to be too much of a challenge.
Nice. Just talking about challenges there. What do you think so far, because since you're new to the school or whatever, what do you think has been your biggest either challenge coaching so far, or something that's been either kind of eye-opening, or something you maybe didn't expect starting off the season, and how you gotta get in the flow of things and everything like that?
I mean, the guys have been great. Getting into kind of the swing of things in person and having weekly meetings, setting good habits and building a good regiment for our team has been really critical to my coaching style. And I think individual performance and growth is kind of the mainstay of our current coaching philosophy. A lot of the kind of game aspects are just coming naturally to the players, or they already have it there, which is very welcoming.
Words you want to say to all the fans out there, or to any of the other teams, any sort of fighting words you got?
Ooh. I think easy top 4 this year.
Ooh. All right, so you heard it here first. We thank Tyler for his time. Gonna wish him luck on the rest of the season, and as you said, hopefully aiming for that top 4 finish. But we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Trundle coming around at the corner for a dive. Tristana's going to get the bomb off on Samira. Trundle is going to pick up the kill with just an auto attack, and going to pick up another kill. Now,
just not having a fun time, and Namwen gonna walk into that tri-bush and just find Timmy's himself there. And there it is, the Trundle damage coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4 smacks. Gonna find himself a double kill. Can he find the third on this Wukong? It's gonna be Rockboom who finds it, and that is
free.
The mid laner and support actually grouping up there to go steal the Trundle's blue buff there, Saint side blue buff. And now it's Ricky. I don't think he knew that was a 1v4 when he engaged, but a huge ult is gonna...
From that quick little break, finally going to get underway into the draft here. So we're going to finally see what both teams are going to pick, how things are going to shake out. Adam, let's get it started off here, and let's get the rundown going.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to come through with. Realistically, these two teams, lots of flexibility. They're willing to play that meta, so very curious to see what they will come through with. Blue side, an interesting choice for a first pick. Depends on what actually came through. They might have just been coin flipped onto blue side, but there's some prio picks that you really have to keep an eye out for, Hecarim especially, but I'm curious to see what they would cop to first pick here, especially with all of that. But Udyr ban coming through, no surprise there. Champion is very strong both in top lane and jungle.
Yeah, and I like what you said about the first pick. There's usually standard first picks, but it's a tricky situation, right? You want to make sure you make the correct pick. You don't want to get hard counter pick later in the draft, so it's always really tricky to make that call and say I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that Hecarim or something like that coming through. But Udyr ban, we've seen that a lot in the last couple of weeks. Not really surprising after the rework. He's just a little bit annoying to deal with at the moment, so pretty understandable coming through.
Yeah, and with the Misfortune ban here as well for Northwood, no surprise at that either. Just super safe in the bottom lane. You got so much team fight presence. You got so much lane presence. Really difficult to deal with. She's somehow an early and a late game
that
champion.
Off-screen Eve, dude.
Really difficult. But at the same time, the Vi coming through as well. Just instant lockdown. It's really difficult to play a lot of AD carries into it. And right now, just a strong champion. Can be flexed support, but that might just be my dark tech. I don't know about you.
I don't think for the Saints, I think they got some other tech in their mind. So yeah, I think they definitely have their own things to worry about. Ricky was talking to us a couple weeks ago about running some off meta stuff or running some interesting stuff. So I think that's quite up their alley. Yes, no secrets yet. But as you said, the Vi band really good for locking down those single ADCs. A Kali band going to come through. She is kind of nuts right now, like a little bit crazy to deal with, especially just flying all over the place, lots of damage output. So pretty decent ban on the side of the Saints there.
Yeah, and not really surprised considering the mid laner on the opposite side, Reppy, known for Katarina Kali, a lot of these hyper-aggressive mid lane roaming assassins, you just want to take that out of their hands, especially since there is flex capability with that there. Yeah. Considering it's ISO in the top lane, very unlikely that it would go there regardless, but we can talk about what we've got here, which is the Lulu and the Trundle bans. These are picks that St. Clair have pulled out already, so it's comfort for them. However, we're going to get a Nocturne first pick here. This is a little bit off the table, but recently got some buffs, got a little bit more attack speed, got a little bit more utility. It's really good into a lot of AD carries as well, because if you're able to make them nearsighted, it makes the AD carries job so much harder to play.
And I think one thing the Saints really had to key on was playing around these objectives, and Nocturne is like the ultimate mobility. So you have the universal R, pretty much you can get anywhere in the map, attach to someone, get that damage, and at least get to where you need to be on the map. And the Saints really struggled with kiting around those objectives, grouping at the right times and everything. So I think it's a champ that can definitely help them play into that a lot.
Yeah, and a big thing about Nocturne, even into these two champions that just got locked in, is communication is so difficult when you can't see anything. Hecarim, Maokai, both of them have sort of these semi-long range ultimates that they can engage from over a screen away. Really difficult to do that if you can't see the enemy champion, so Nocturne just denies that capability. And when you toss on top of that a Scion, all of a sudden the choo-choo train coming through, you have no idea where that guy's coming from.
So I actually really like this out of St. Clair. I think this will be a fun game to watch, if nothing else. So between the Nocturne and Scion just flying all over the map, I think this will be a very entertaining game, at least nonetheless. So gonna combat these new reworks a little bit, the Scion and the Nocturne. Then gonna see the Azir pick. We've seen Azir pick tons in the last couple months, or last couple weeks and months, especially. Just pretty solid pick overall. So you have the good R to shuffle everyone back into the fight and everything. Just really good for setting up around team fights. Once again, it looks like they're definitely trying to play around these objectives more so far.
Yeah, and especially when you've got a blind pick here and you're looking for something, maybe not wanting to reveal what you want to play bot lane, you just want to pick something super safe. Azir really safe at just being able to drop that poke down. We've seen the Arcane Comet build rise up a little bit more. You just throw a soldier at him, you get your Comet down, you walk away. Even Electrocute as an option. Lethal Tempo was an option earlier as well. It's a very versatile champion. And the Ahri as well, very safe pick. It does quite well into Azir because you can stop that shuffle from coming through, but at the same time, it's just really safe. Gonna be putting Reppy on something a little bit more team-oriented as opposed to self-oriented, not a Katarina or anything like that, but I think overall no surprises there as we get into the second phase bans. Support gonna be that target because AD carry, you can just throw whatever AD carries bot lane. Supports, you got to be a little bit more intricate about the counter pick matchups.
Yeah, say support, you definitely have to make sure, you want to play into the right matchup, because, a lot of ADCs now, you can kind of just, like, not blindly throw them out, but you can almost blindly throw them out there, and you'll kind of get them the same results, but the support, definitely have to make sure you find the right pairing, and as you said, 4 support bands coming through at the back, and then Nautilus and Yuumi as well, so not really super surprising. Nautilus and Yuumi always pretty, pretty good with the certain matchups and everything, just solid champs overall, so nothing too shocking. We are going to see Sivir pick for the side of Northwood, so it was only a matter of time until Sivir got busted out.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Sivir has fallen down the priority list for a lot of these teams. Misfortune does quite well into her. There are some other counterpick matchups, specifically the Vayne coming through from Rock Boom. That's going to be really good into that Sivir. It's more difficult, especially after the nerfs, to make Sivir work. Granted, when you've got a team like Hecarim, Maokai, Ari who just want to run in there, just ooga booga run full face first into it, it's going to enable that as well. But on the flip side, you've got the counter engage now. You've got this Vayne to condemn someone backwards. You've got the Renata Glaska as well online, sort of being able to hostile takeover over the entire team, really mess everyone up. So the Seraphine last pick, not too surprising. It's a very strong team fight oriented team comp coming out from Northwood, but on the flip side, there's some pretty strong lanes that we've got to keep an eye on. Specifically, Maokai not the best in lane, so Sion might be able to take advantage of that and just be able to stack up that Soul Furnace infinitely. Yeah,
one way or the other, I think we are going to have a very, very fun games on our hand. We're finally onto the Rift. St. Clair versus Northwood to kick off the NECC season, and we are finally underway.
Very exciting to see this matchup come through. Beginning of the season, game 1. This is going to be basically just scouting out what we can expect out of not only Northwood, but out of St. Clair as well throughout this season. Now it's all for all the marbles. You've got, a 3-game series on your hand. You can't give away everything right off the bat, and I think that's the biggest thing. This is a very sterile draft from both sides. Nothing too off the wall.
Very limp draft.
Yeah, very, just, as clean as possible, but very curious to see what ends up coming through. Just a little bit of skirmishing down on the bottom side. Even on the top side, they're feeling a little bit frisky early on here.
Listen, I know Sion's not going to die for a while there, so even if they're trained for a while, he ain't going down anytime soon. So I'd say a little bit of back and forth, maybe try to get some of those sums down, maybe try to get a health pot or 2 burn. But obviously, both teams, game 1, that's the thing. I think there's still going to be definitely some scratch your head play, some exciting I don't know if that was the play, but that's always the beautiful thing about week 1 with 2 really good teams that know each other, or maybe not know each other, but know the game well. They just try to go out there, try to make some things happen, even if it ends up being week 1. And unfortunately. And let's say maybe we are going to be safe from the pause. So every time it happened last time, the second I opened my mouth to cut over, it immediately would fix it. So don't even have to go to the transition. They're going to stay in game for the time being. And both teams, like we said, just got to try to ride out this early game. And you don't want to make any early mistakes. That's the thing. You're probably not going to win the game in the first 2 to 5 minutes, but you can definitely go yourself on a path to losing it.
Yeah, and of course, League Client pause after the pause.
Of course.
Gotta love it. It's standard at that point, but curious to see what ends up coming through from these 2 teams in terms of the long con at that. Especially when you've got a Sivir Vayne as your bottom lane, it's not really looking to fight in the early game. A lot of these champions are not going to look to fight in that early game, so curious to see which team ends up taking the proactive approach, as we expected. Already poke coming out between these 2 mid laners here. Bakery Boy going to take the worst end of that trade for now because of the electrocute, but over time this is just going to be able to scale up into a monster.
Yeah, and the mid laners, because it's a solo lane, it's typically some of the higher skill cap players. See, they're always they have a little ego to them. They want to try to get those trades out, even if they're maybe not always in the best interest. But a little bit of poke back and forth in the bot lane. Mid lane once again going to go for the trade. Going to land the W there, get a couple ticks of damage there. Ricky just hanging away in the top wave there, just trying to get the wave glitched in a little bit. And so far, nothing too crazy. No early gank spots or anything. Just everyone farming up, just playing chill so far.
Yeah, and curious to note that neither jungler started with a leash, but also both of them started on that top side. They know it's just going to be Bungus versus Bungus on the top side. Just no one's really going to die in that lane. Might be playing more towards this mid lane, if anything. Bot lane has a couple of gank opportunities, but especially with the spell shield as well as the tumble, it really makes it difficult to make anything stick. But of course, Izo starting with the tier, feeling very confident. This is a champion that he's very well known for in high elo, and now that it got buffed, very happy to be picking that one up. But even then, Sion's base damage is early, just going to be a little bit more in favor.
Yeah, and how do you have to love that. If you play a champion mainly for your entire life or for years and years, you do extremely well in the champ regardless of the outcome or the meta or what the items are doing, and then gets a huge rework and it's gotta be oh my goodness, praise the gods, finally, they're finally showing me some recognition. So far, decent back and forth in the top wave. Bottom wave, still a bit of prio there, just hiding in that second bush, just trying to set up those couple shots to get some damage in there. So far, back and forth in the top wave though. Ricky doing pretty solid there in the top wave so far, and winning end of those trades, but like we said, back and forth, no ganks just quite yet. Both junglers just working on clearing those last camps and then maybe making a move here.
And realistically here, Hecarim's going to be the one to go for these early ganks. If anything, Shimmer's going to have to look for those proactive plays. Nocturne doesn't care. Nocturne farms till 6, turns out the lights, finds a successful gank. It's as easy as that, but thus far a little bit of a slower start. You can see what this lane is doing, though. It's pushing in a little bit to Northwood's side, but, you know, Rockboom just perfectly fine, stepping up, trying to put the pressure down onto... That is an IGN there as the ADC. Oh my!
And the thing with that Scion Q, that hitbox is so wrong. Every single time I see someone with that Q, the hitbox, it hits even if it doesn't hit. So honestly, really, really good pick from Ricky there. So far making the most of it. And here's the bot lane. Still got a lot of pressure though, so you definitely have to be careful because as you said, Hecarim is someone that he's not there and then all of a sudden you're pinned into the wall and you're getting double knocked up. The chain CC comes through. So Saints do have to be aware of that on the bot side. Obviously got to make sure they play safe. Don't want to give up those early kills, but pretty decent job so far. Just trying to get that farm pretty even in gold though. Obviously nothing too crazy to ride home about either way.
Yeah, main thing I notice here as well is that Hecarim's able to get that bot lane crab. Going to be able to get those tier 2 boots, and in a lot of ways because of Hecarim's passive, which gives him more damage the more movement speed he has. It's kind of a damage item in that own right, but we'll see if they end up looking towards this top side of the map. You can see Alonso able to reset a little bit earlier. Didn't actually have to wait in base to buy his items, so just going to be able to pick up that crab and everything's all squared out. But top lane roam early. Oof, ISO's pretty low.
Yeah, a little bit of a show, but that's the thing with Scion too. If you're not guaranteed to get that CC, he's probably just going to walk away and end up living one way or the other. And then obviously there's always the threat of that passive. He comes back to life as a zombie and can chunk away with those auto attacks. So you have to always be careful, messing around with Scion there in the top lane.
And actually, interesting thing to note here on the bottom side, Cheetah Recall achieved by the Northwood bot lane here. Going to mean a cull and a dagger here for the Sivir, but you can see 12 CS up already for Rockboom here. Should be able to get still a favorable reset, so we'll see if that ends up creating any pressure points. The main thing about going cull is you're scaling for that later stages, but when you've got those Berserker Greaves already online, you've got that 2v2 potential now, especially with the Renata having a little bit more in the tank as well.
Yeah, and Seraphine investing early in that dark, so definitely want to try to stay alive, definitely use that distance, use that cutting distance, not get too involved there, get that damage from far away, and just obviously try to stay alive, get those stacks, maybe go to Magi's or something else. But so far, as we said, pretty solid back and forth. Both teams just getting their first set of items there in the recall. So like I said, not even besides Hecarim showing one top side, both teams, as you said, playing very, very safe and very, very milquetoast for game one. Just want to make sure, keep our ducks in order. Don't let anything too crazy get out of hand here, but I'm waiting for those crazy plays. Once the objectives start to come up, then the game starts to open up.
And I mean, you can just see the small leads that the side of St. Clair are able to achieve for themselves. Notably, you can see on this top side sign with the Bomby Cinder over the double Ruby Crystal means it's going to be a little bit better. Also of note, was able to shove that wave in, able to walk back to lane as opposed to Iso, who had to teleport back in. So it's a big summoner cooldown. It means that Ricky LaFleur has a get out of jail free card in that sense. If he sort of messes up and engage, might cause some trouble, but a little bit of fighting bot side.
Yeah, good little trade there, Rock. I'm going to get some good damage and going to get a couple autos and going to get the condemn into the wall as well. Alonso going to be there for the show, but maybe nothing going to come of it. But Saints, definitely a decent solid trade considering how far up the wave was pushed as well.
Interesting to note, though, Shimmer just sneaking away this dragon. Alonso not there. Ooh, engage.
Whoa. Ricky going to use the R early on and try to get the knock up there. Might be able to find something, but not quite. Going to get a lot of damage on there, though. And so he said, and like we said, Ricky still has to teleport in the back pocket. The Maokai had to burn the TP at like a second or two ago. So Ricky definitely going to have the slight advantage there on the top lane to start things off. So the Saints playing safe, but playing very, very strong right now.
Yeah, of course. Ooh. First dragon going to go over to the side of Northwood, and just a little bit of a miss there from Alonso not checking the dragon just in case. Happens, but regardless, still going to be pretty happy. Level 6 is going to come through for these junglers, then we might see some more action, but Ricky, without mana here, pushing that wave in, might not even have to teleport back to lane here either, which would be favorable for them, but the longer you hold on to this teleport cooldown, the more efficient it can be. You can possibly teleport down to bot lane even, right onto the tower, use that ultimate to get in on a fight, so curious to see what will end up happening in the mid lane. However, as sterile as can be, just farm fest, farm fest. Rafa going to help shove this wave in as well. Yeah,
mid lane, dead even CS pretty much. We've had dead even trades back and forth. Junglers only showing top and bot side so far, so not really a whole lot going on. I think Ricky is going to use the teleport there, so going to get back to the wave fast, try to make sure he gets all that XP, gets that gold back in there. And the good thing with Scion is even though he TP'd, once his R is up, he can pretty much get back to lane for the speed of a teleport as well. So he's got those two ways to get back into lane, get in those fights and create engagements. Although I will say, the Saints definitely, it's okay to miss the first dragon, but you don't want to fall, they've fallen asleep a lot at the wheel on a lot of objectives in the past, so you definitely want to make sure, point of emphasis, you cannot mess around with those objectives in this patch, in this meta rather.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is just that Hecarim has an easier time taking Dragon solo early on than the Nocturne does, just by virtue of their kits and everything. I'm curious to see what ends up happening. Top laner's just going at it here. Ooh, Iso's got a better end of this trade though.
He is going to get a couple autos in there. Ricky is getting tagged up. They're going to pop the corrupting potions as well. He's getting tagged up pretty good here. Ulti is going to come through, slowly walking away, but not going to get out of there in time. Going to get knocked back as well. This might be a kill on Ricky here. 3 members going to go. Ricky is going to flash out. Hecarim going to dive over the wall. Is going to find the kill, so Ricky will end up falling first in top lane, and Northwood claims first blood.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there, I think. Just got a little bit overzealous without having that ultimate available. Will be able to clear out most of that wave, but as we mentioned, with the ultimate to get back to lane won't be too big of a deal, but it is Iso sort of striking back, saying, you're getting a little bit too greedy, I'm going to call a couple members off. Of note, this does open up the Rift Herald as well for the side of Northwood, but on the bottom side, look at this.
Immediately, just like that, Lonzo going to come cross up, going to try to find the kill there. He's going to get the flee. Lots of damage. Couple flashes going to come in, but he is going to get bailed out there. So Seraphine going to come in for the save there with the shield, and St. Clair investing a lot there, but just not quite getting that kill.
Interesting to see the Seraphine actually flashing there. Don't think it was necessary out of Haru, so it's a little bit of a wasted cooldown there. You saw both summoners burned off of the Sivir as well. Going to make things difficult, but Reppy's here as well.
Gonna ride up there, gonna try to find some damage there. A lot of damage coming through. Sivir gonna be playing that backline, but Rockboom is gonna be in the middle there, still tanking. Gonna try to land a couple autos here, gonna get some damage on the side of Northwood. So St. Clair, even though these are kind of some weird fights in the bot lane, they're at least able to find that damage to counteract, even if they get hit by the ultimate. Big knock up. Ricky's gonna find a lot of damage here. Might be able to find the kill as well if he can land 1 or 2 more abilities off cooldown here. Is gonna give chase, gonna get the slow. Should be able to find the killer. Actually, to get knocked back. Q. Flash is gonna come through though. Ricky gets the flash burned. Unfortunately, does not find the kill though.
Honestly, really well played from Ricky, though, because you can see where the wave is. Going to be able to push this into the Maokai, who still doesn't have that teleport up. Well played from Ricky, all things considered, despite having missed on that first kill. But, got to take advantage of the item advantage when you can to be able to process that through. But nonetheless, we saw a good play on the bottom side there. Rockboom, Rafa, as well as Alonso, all dodging away from that Ahri on that roam. And that's what we've got to keep an eye on with this Ahri. She's going to have that wave push for the next couple of levels still, because she's got that Q maxed out now compared to the Azir. We'll have to see what Bakery Boy is able to do potentially on the opposite side of the map for some cross maps, or if he's able to follow these roams a little bit earlier to try and find these 3v3, 4v4s on the bottom side of the map. Yeah,
that's the one huge thing, or like the huge thing in this game. There's so much roam potential and so many plays that can be made or cannot be made depending on what's going on in the game. So both teams have to keep their P's and Q's in check. They got to make sure, okay, we're keeping track of the Ahri, and for the other side, make sure we know where Cyan and Nocturne are. Before he turns the lights out, we got to keep track of everybody and try to figure out everything. And so far, if you're the Saints, you're definitely happy. Besides giving up the Dragon, I'd say you're pretty happy with this start overall.
Yeah, and you can see this Rift Herald as well hasn't really been used to the greatest extent. Want to point out something about Shimmer's build here, though. Going for the Serrated Dirt, Eclipse Hecarim has risen a lot in priority over the last little bit. You get a lot of damage out because Auto Q just gives you that shield, cuts through people, especially with the lower cooldown. However, usually not a rushable item. You want to see something like the Man Immune come through first, or even a Chem Punk Chain Sword as the options before you see that Eclipse. So, might end up biting them in the back a little bit here, because Shimmer's super squishy right now, can get blown up so easily. Not really going to be that bruiser that you expect, but Baker Boy still got to be careful here, because this engage could get scary.
Yeah, definitely a little hairy there going down mid and bot lane there. Once again, Ricky going to get shoved in here. It looks like Iso going to try to find the kill. Ricky is going to land a huge to get some damage, get the knock up, land a couple autos to trade as well. So Ricky, all things considered, gets the damage back there, and once again, say a little skirmish in the mid lane, a couple pings coming through, everyone trying to make sure, keep their ducks in a row there. Looks like there may be a fighter on the Herald pit there. Alonso going to go for the kill there. They should be able to find the kill here, all things considered. Going to get the near side and the flea. A lot of damage coming through. Ricky's shoes should land at full power as well, and the Saints will end up getting the kill. Iso will fall to Alonso.
Yeah, it gets a little bit greedy there. Wasn't able to use their W to the greatest extent because of the spell shield coming through from the Nocturne. So Alonso, really smart to recognize where the enemy jungler was. Yes, it does mean you probably give up the second dragon. I don't think it's too big of a deal, though, because this is a team, especially when you look at a Vayne and Azir, they're the ones who are going to scale around an item and a half, which is about the time that we're going to get that third dragon. Giving up these first two, not too big of a deal, but of course, you want to see them at least try and contest it a little bit, get something on the opposite side of the map. You get a kill on to Iso, you force out the teleport, you get a couple of tower plates. Is that worth the dragon? We'll find out. The jury's out. We'll have to see around that third dragon if they're able to win the fight.
Yeah, and that's the only reason we made such a big point about it before, is because not that the Saints were like giving up the objectives, like they weren't even showing up, or like even whether they didn't have vision or they weren't even showing on these objectives, they were just like literally sacrificing, saying, okay, we know that we're not going to get this, it's okay, it is what it is. And so far Northwood taking advantage, like you said. St. Clair though playing solid in lanes, otherwise Rift is going to get dropped bot side, so the tower should be able to crash there, I believe, unless something crazy happens. They're able to get the kill. Bot tower will fall to the Rift Herald, so Northwood going to get the drag, going to take bot T1 tower, and pretty good comeback there from Northwood.
And all things considered, even with the tower going down, Rockboom not in the worst of cases. The main thing to keep in mind is that Vayne hasn't died yet. And that's a really big factor of this game. You can see top side. Oh my.
Huge play by Rookie. Gonna land the R, gonna go for the Q as well. Alonso is lurking in the bush there, so they will actually be able to find this kill on Iso. So once again, Iso getting very, very aggressive, and he is gonna fall for his trouble. I don't think he had flashed up as well, so very dangerous. Rafa gonna find the kill on Shimmer. As you said, Shimmer, a little bit squishy with that build. There's a chance that he can get all in one there, and just like that, the Saints gonna find 2 picks on opposite lanes there.
Yeah, really well played from the Saints, actually. You know, Shimmer trying to go a little bit too deep, use the ultimate. I don't think they were able to land it onto Rockboom as effectively as they wanted. Might have flashed out at that one. But overall, really well played by Rafa as well to use that hostile takeover, land onto both the Sivir and the Seraphine to prevent that from coming down. And Shimmer was just stuck between a rock and a hard place at that point.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth in the mid lane. As we said, mid lane, there's essentially been nothing going on. They have pretty even CS. Both champs, pretty similar tower damage. I think Bakery Boy may have a play just on the cusp of it there, so not a whole lot of difference in the mid lane. It's all been bought in top lane action so far. It looks like Unleashed Teleport is going to come online here very soon. A little bit of knock up there. Rafa's might go fall here. Actually, near sight Charm is going to come through as well. Going to hit that stopwatch. Going to survive for the time being. Alonso there to kind of save the day there in the Saints. Going to get bailed out a little bit.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing here, especially out of Repi, play incredibly safe, all things considered, not trying to go more aggressive here. Yeah. I don't think they expected the fear to land there, but a really good stopwatch coming through from Rafa to make sure there was no damage coming through as well. Rockboom tempting fate a little bit, might have been a little bit greedy to stay for that long, but nonetheless, this is a really good showing out of the bot lane already. You can see 2,000 gold up, and even though you see the Kraken Slayer already going to be completed, this should be Blade of the Rune King completed for Rockboom as well to be able to cut through that Maokai as well as the Hecarim.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, you know, even with the Eclipse coming through, that's not a lot of health built up on that Hecarim, who's normally seen as a bruiser.
Yeah.
Only has about 1,300 health there. Can get blown up very easily by the likes of Alonso, who has a little bit more beef with that Stride Breaker.
Yeah, I said Alonso, we've seen early, that Nocturne pick definitely paying dividends. He's been all over the map, but the Saints going to dive topside again. Iso going to try to find the kill into Rafa. Rafa and Rookie going to collapse here. 3 or 4 members of Northwood going to fall up in the river as well. Going to get the stun, going to root him as well. Lots of damage coming through. Shimmer is going to find the kill there. It looks like Ricky not looking in too good of a spot as well, but Sion with that tanky HP going to turn. Land the huge Q, fully powered, can actually turn this fight around. Looks like they're going to find the kill. Shimmer's going to fall once again, just not enough HP to stand in there and front tank everything. And Saints, once again, Ricky going to land yet another Q. Lots of damage coming through. Bakery Boy finds a kill. Shuffle is going to come through as well. Alonso still giving chase, going to flash on. Definitely should be able to find this kill. Going to land the flea, landing a couple more autos here. Should find the kill. Alonso finds it. Ricky looks like he can find another kill as well. And the Saints completely clean house topside. And Northwood only left with, I believe, 1 member alive somewhere else. But they should take Riftward as well. So great fight by the Saints.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back in a lot of senses here. Very curious to see how that sort of broke down, because we saw Rafa caught out on the top side of the
really
map
good
there
for Northwood there for a second.
Really good, yeah. It was like a 3v2, and they got the Renata really early on onto that one, but just a little bit of miscommunication, I think, especially when it came to Repi there. Just sort of half committed. It was a half commit there. You really needed to full commit at that point, especially with the teleports coming through. Should be getting a replay of that fight. And, you know, Rafa just really caught out of position at that point. You can see Shimmer able to find that kill, but look how squishy the Hecarim is. That's the main thing I want to look at here. Just blowing up here. 300, 400 health off of that decimating smash, and then the rotations come through. Alonso there in time, Bakery Boy in time. Iso was just taken out of this fight so early, not enough damage. And I think especially when you look at Repi's build, doesn't have anything built up yet. Just sitting on that lost chapter, sitting on a bunch of components. I call it the garage sale at that. And even though Alonso doesn't have a whole lot of damage, it's death by 1,000 cuts. And Alonso's able to pick that one up, and now St. Clair up a healthy amount here, up about 4,000 gold.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge fight for the Saints. We already kind of had the gold lead, even though, and that's what you talked about. It's okay to give up the dragons as long as you play around the objectives. Wait till you get those 2-3 item spikes or some of those champs. Make sure you play smart, play around. Ricky going to find a lot of damage in that top lane once again, so Ricky causing a lot of problems for Iso in this top lane. Going to land the Q as well. Once again, going to get the slow too. Going to get a couple autos here, so going to find a lot of damage under Happy there, or Repi, sorry. Going to try to escape there, so great job by Ricky. Once again, just top lane is mine. You will not come here. You will stay away. Looks like make it a TP in topside as well. Or actually just a recall. Yeah, both teams going to engage here above the pit though. Huge Q gets land. Stun is going to come through, so 4 members of St. Clair are going to collapse on Iso. He is going to fall once more, so the Saints, once again, doing such a good job collaborating on these team fights, getting there for the right time, setting things up, and now they should be able to take the Dragon as well.
And if we were looking at the win conditions for this game specifically, for the side of St. Clair, it was wait until your Vayne's able to scale up a little bit. Wait for that mid game. Wait for that item and a half. They do exactly that. They find a miraculous fight on top side. A little bit hand-gifted, I want to say, from Northwood, but around this dragon, able to find the teleport and able to find the Nocturne ultimate to cause so much chaos, and they're in full retreat. Iso goes down. It's a dragon picked up, as well as what could be not only this mid turret, but potentially the bot turret as well.
Yeah, Rift is going to crash into the mid turret there, so mid turret should be falling. One or two more autos there. It is end up going to fall. Vayne going to get a really good shoving on the bot wave there. So St. Clair, you got Rift, you used it successfully, you got a Dragon, and you got Prio in 2 different waves there. So that was as good of a 2 minutes for the Saints as you could have asked for, just getting everything they wanted done there in the last 2 fights.
Interesting to see the teleport coming through from Reppy, but Rockboom might be in trouble.
He's going to go through. He's going to hit the flea. Got a flash out of there. Try to go to safety. Renata R is going to hit nothing, though. Unfortunately, actually, going to get clipped on Reppy a little bit. But Rockboom going to find the kill on Shimmer. So you pointed out perfectly, Shimmer, just not enough HP to get in there and tank these shots, especially with the Vayne already getting a couple items. Like, you can't just go in there and face it. If they flash in and going to go for try to find the kill on Rafa there. Rafa is going to maybe escape with his life. Nocturne Alonso going to come in for the save. Should be able to find a kill or 2. Shuffle comes through as well. 2 go down for the Saints. And Northwood just getting cleaned up right now by St. Clair.
That's such a rough fight for the side of Northwood. We've talked about this Hecarim build. You gotta build a little bit of beef before you build that Eclipse.
And if you don't build the beef, don't face check every single fight.
It's a little bit frustrating just to see the Hecarim go in like that, but so well played from Rockboom as well. Really good use of that final hour to just be able to weave in and out of that fight. The Blade of the Ruined King as well, doing work overtime.
Yeah.
Good reply from Alonso and Bakery Boy, able to rotate down just at the right time. Should be okay here. This might get a little bit hairy, but yeah. NASCAR, do they have the drifting skills?
Not quite. I think after the last couple nerfs, I think they nerfed the turning a little bit. So maybe previous patch would have got out of there, but at least Ricky is going to escape with his life. Didn't have to burn the flash, just had to burn the R there. So very, very good job. And I think we are maybe getting a quick little replay of that last fight there as well. So as we saw, once again, Northwood looks like they might be in decent shape for some of these fights, and Shimmer just gets like 40-0 immediately by the Vayne. And then once that happens, once that Hecarim dies early too, Northwood doesn't like, they're relying on him for a lot of agency in these fights, a lot of knockback, a lot of CC. So once he falls, and as we said, Alonso has been on the ball this game with timing. He has been everywhere at every single crucial moment in the game so far, and the Saints, the mobility definitely paying off this time.
Yeah, and you can just see the strength of this Azir as well, just to be able to disrupt in that backline. My goodness, Shimmer.
Unlucky. There's not a word for that besides unfortunate. The second one going to go as well. Going to get the near side. Alonso still out for blood. The Saints going to go, and Rafa going to hit the blast plant, and Rockboom will end up finding the kill. So keep that Vayne getting ahead. Got the CS lead. Going to be 3-0-3 to start things off. And Shimmer, now I think he's just trying to make too many plays to try to catch up in the game, because he realizes, okay, I may be a little bit behind here. And looks like the Saints actually, they're going to get an uncontested Baron off of this as well.
Yeah, 20-minute Baron. This is incredibly quick, and I think a lot of that is just off of Shimmer overforcing, as you mentioned. You know, looking at the build now going from Black Cleaver, it's not quite as tanky as you want it to be regardless. And now, look how much damage Reppy's taking from the Scion.
Look how much health. Ricky, this Scion is just such a good pick when he gets going. Look at Ricky body bagging Reppy just like that. Still going to escape. Maybe get that R back online too. Does still have his flash as well. So Ricky, he's going to sit in there. He's going to try to fight this out as long as possible. He is going to flash. Root is going to come through. Seraphine R is going to land. Charge does come through. The exhaust as well. Ricky still somehow living. Looks like maybe one more Silverado. Going to put up the shield as well. Ricky, does he somehow escape with his life? They are sending everything after this man. He gets one more Q. Massive damage. Ricky gets shut down. The passive comes through though. Will he be able to find the kill? Going to get a lot of auto damage. He might be able to find a kill or two as well. Ricky, heal is going to come through. So Ricky, absolute nightmare scenario for Northwood, and Ricky just wrecking the game from top to bot.
Just looking at the build from the Scion as well. You know, might as well build the Hullbreaker, might as well build the Titanic, you know. Call him the boss at this point. He's bossing around.
Just Prowler's Claw next.
Here.
Prowler Claw next.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Sunfire, so I'm staying a little bit meta with that. But honestly, so well played from Ricky. Just pulling 3 members down to the bottom side. No sort of contest. Here's a fight, though.
Oh, looks like Baker Boy might have got caught up, but the Saints are going to collapse there. Alonso going to be there once again. Once Alonso shows in these fights, the Saints are pretty much almost like a get-out-of-jail-free card in a way. They just don't want to mess Alonso. Maybe find that backside pick on Iso as well. A lot of healing going to come through. Turret is going to go down. They just have half health on that front turret in mid lane. Now Saints doing a really good job keeping this Baron pressure up. The Azir turret, you know, just hanging in there for a last moment there with the Saints. Just such a good job. Lane pressure, finding these kills, playing around objectives, and just like that, you go to mid, and stopping the Scion split push is so hard. Obviously, Rockboom's there behind him, but stopping Ricky, they're going to have to send at least 2 or 3 people at Ricky every single time, and that just opens up the map so much for St. Clair otherwise.
I'm looking just at the matchups overall. X, we'll call him X for now. Not really sure how to pronounce that IGN, but
Oh,
X,
yeah.
you know, just sitting on the one item at this point, you know, 001 hasn't really been able to contribute as much to this matchup as you would maybe expect. And unfortunately for Northwood, they're really expecting the Sivir to be sort of that carry for them. 12,500 gold lead built up for the Saints at this point. And you look across the board, 3 massive shutdowns in jungle, mid, ADC. It's so difficult to lock down those characters as well, especially when they're that far ahead. We'll have to see if Shimmer's able to find any sort of use in the later stages, especially now that you've got that Black Cleaver. At least it's a little bit of beef under your side, but at the same time, Izo 06, not too happy.
Yeah, are going to come through. Knockback as well, going to land multiple combo. Izo going to fall once again, just cannot seem to get it going this game. And once again, we saw Ricky. Ricky just standing in the bottom lane makes 2 players focus him. And even then, the Saints, if they have even a slight advantage, they're so far ahead in gold. And now they got the double Hex Tech Dragon as well. The Saints will pretty much win any team fight as long as they have 4 people grouped up. And Ricky split pushing this bottom side as well. The Saints, our Shuffle is going to come through, try to find some Bakery Boy. Might be able to find the kill. Their tower, you're going to go near the tower, but they're going to be aggressive trying to find this kill. The Saints, they're going to push in and try to win this game.
Yeah, they might just end the game. Look at where Reppy is, just trying to push on that top side. This could be the end. They don't have enough manpower.
Baron minions too. This is going to be over for the Saints, and looks like it'll be at 23 minutes. The Saints just getting it done. The Scion pick coming out, the Nocturne pick was absolutely massive for the Saints this time, and that was a textbook game of League, if you're saying, Claire.
That was fantastic overall. I mean, they just looked so strong from beginning to end. They were able to stand their ground at every point, and despite a little bit of a slower start, they were really able to consolidate their leads across the mid, jungle, top lane, and just transfer that over to Rockboom. And Rockboom, realistically, we said that they like to play around this bot side. They didn't have to. They really didn't have to do that. You know, Ricky was able to get leads on their own.
You get Scion ahead early, man. That's a win condition all in itself.
Yeah, and Alonso and Bakery Boy were at every one of these fights. It was so convenient for them to move around the map like that. And honestly, Northwood, they're going to have to find some answers, because normally we talked about that Maokai. That's the one trick. You know, Reppy being on these sort of assassins roaming around the map. We didn't really see a whole lot of benefit come out from that for the side of Northwood, so they're going to have to rethink their game plan a little bit. I think we might see some more spice in match 2, because that's going to be where they need to really stand their ground. Yeah,
and the one thing I really like the Saints, we saw some flexibility in the picks now. We saw the Nocturne get busted out, insane value of the Nocturne. We've seen Ricky, I think, a little bit, you know, dabble on the Scion depending on the matchup, but pretty well as good of a Scion game as you can play, like taking control of every single wave the second you get in there, and just like 3 players having to collapse when they're already behind. You're basically just like drawing out, like it's like a slow bleed out. You're just slowly, I'm either going to split push and get tower damage until the game's over, or we're going to end up getting that team fight and winning in the end there.
Yeah, and honestly, just going to be curious to see what Northwood pulls out, because I think the Saints, they don't need to reveal anything. The main thing about these best of 3s is that if you win that game 1, you can just play the same draft if you want to. You force Northwood's hand in this sense, where they say, do we have to ban this Nocturne? Do we have to ban this Azir? Do we have to ban this Vayne even to sort of stem the bleeding a little bit? I think a lot of what came through was this Scion counterpick into the Maokai. They were ready for it. They knew it was coming, and they were able to adapt. But I think overall, we're going to have to see some adaptations come through from Northwood.
Yeah, I think we are going to go to a very, very short break here between matches. Got to give the players time to reset before we get back into draft. But St. Clair going to take game 1 in convincing fashion, just about 24 minutes over Northwood, but stay locked in. Game 2 coming up soon.
Keep in mind is that Vayne hasn't died yet, and that's a really big factor of this game. You can see topside. Oh my.
Huge play by Ricky. Gonna land the R, gonna go for the Q as well. Alonso is lurking in the bush there, so they will actually be able to find this kill on Izo. So once again, Izo getting very, very aggressive, and he is gonna fall for his shovel. I don't think he has flashed him, but also very dangerous. Rafa gonna find the kill on Shimmer. As you said, find the kill on Rafa. Rafa and Ricky gonna collapse here. 3 or 4 members of North are gonna fall up in the river as well. Gonna get the stun, gonna root him as well. Lots of damage coming through. Shimmer is gonna find the kill there. It looks like Ricky not looking in too good of a spot as well, but Scion with that tanky HP gonna turn. Land the huge Q, fully powered, can actually turn this fight around. Looks like they're gonna find the kill. Shimmer's gonna fall once again, just not enough HP to stand in there and front tank everything. And Saints, once again, Ricky gonna land yet another Q. Lots of damage coming through. Bakery Boy finds a kill. Shuffle is gonna come through as well. Alonso still giving chase, gonna flash on. Definitely should be able to find this kill. Gonna land the flea, landing a couple more autos here. Should find the kill. Alonso finds it. Ricky looks like he can find another kill as well. And the Saints go through. Is gonna hit the flea, gonna flash out of there, try to go to safety. Renata R is gonna hit nothing though. Unfortunately, actually making it get clipped for Reppy a little bit, but Rothman gonna find the kill on Shimmer. So you pointed out perfectly, Shimmer just not enough HP to get in there and tank these shots, especially with the Vayne already getting a couple items. Like you can't just go in there and face everything. Flash in and gonna go for try to find the kill on Rafa there. Rafa is gonna maybe escape with his life. Nocturne, Alonso gonna come in for the save. Should be able to find a kill or 2. Shuffle comes through as well. 2 go down for the Saints, and Northwood just
disrupt in that backline. My goodness, Shimmer.
Unlucky. There's not a word for that besides unfortunate. The second one going to go as well. Going to get the near side. Alonso still out for blood. The Saints going to go, and Rafa going to hit the blast plant. And Rockboom will end up finding the kill, so keep that Vayne getting it. It's a Cyan is just such a good pick when he gets going. Look at Ricky body bagging Reppy just like that. Still going to escape. He maybe get that R back online too. Does still have his flash as well. So Ricky, he's going to sit in here. He's going to try to fight this now as long as possible. He is going to flash. Root is going to come through. Seraphine R is going to land. Chard does come through the exhaust as well. Ricky still somehow living. Looks like maybe one more Silverado. Going to put up the shield as well. Ricky, does he somehow escape with his life? They are sending everything after this man. One more Q. Massive damage. Ricky gets shut down. The passive comes through though. Will he be able to find the kill? Going to get a lot of auto damage. He might be able to find a kill or two as well. Ricky, heal is going to come through. So Ricky, absolute.
At least it's a little bit of beef on your side, but at the same time, Izo 0-6, not too happy.
Yeah, R going to come through. Knockback as well. Going to land multiple combo. Izo going to fall once again. Just cannot seem to get it going this game. And once again, we saw Ricky. Ricky just standing in the bottom lane makes two players focus him. And even then, the Saints, if they have even a slight advantage, they're so far ahead in gold. And now they got the double Hex Tech Dragon as well. The Saints will pretty much win any team fight as long as they have 4 people grouped up. And Ricky split pushing the kill their tower. You're going to go near the tower, but they're going to be aggressive trying to find this kill. The Saints, they're going to push in and try to win this game.
Yeah, they might just end the game. Look at where Reppy is, just trying to push on that top side. This could be the end. They don't have enough manpower.
Baron minions too. This is going to be over for the Saints, and looks like it'll be at 23 minutes. The Saints just getting it done. The Scion pick coming out. The Nocturne pick was absolutely massive for the Saints this time, and that was a textbook game of League if you're saying Clair.
That was fantastic overall. I mean, they keep it. Keep in mind is that Vayne hasn't died yet, and that's a really big factor of this game. You can see top side. Oh my.
Huge play by Ricky. Gonna land the R, gonna go for the Q as well. Alonso is lurking in the bush there, so they will actually be able to find this kill on Izo. So once again, Izo getting very, very aggressive, and he is gonna fall for his shovel. I don't think he had flash up, but it's also very dangerous. Rafa gonna find the kill on Shimmer. As you said, find the kill on Rafa. Rafa and Ricky gonna collapse here. 3 or 4 members of Northwood are gonna fall up in the river as well. Gonna get the stun, gonna root him as well. Lots of damage coming through. Shimmer is gonna find the kill there. It looks like Ricky not looking in too good of a spot as well, but Cyan with that tanky HP gonna turn. Land the huge Q, fully powered, can actually turn this fight around. Looks like they're gonna find the kill. Shimmer's gonna fall once again, just not enough HP to stand in there and front tank everything. And Saints once again, Ricky gonna land yet another Q. Lots of damage coming through. Big Grey Boy finds a kill. Shuffle is gonna come through as well. Alonso still giving chase, gonna flash on. Definitely should be able to find this kill. Gonna land the flea, landing a couple more autos here. Should find the kill. Alonso finds it. Ricky looks like he can find another kill as well. And the Saints go through. Is gonna hit the flea, gonna flash down there, try to go to safety. Renata R is gonna hit nothing though. Unfortunately, actually gonna get clipped for Reppy a little bit, but Rotham gonna find the kill on Shimmer. So you pointed out perfectly, Shimmer just not enough HP to get in there and tank these shots, especially with the Vayne already getting a couple items. Like you can't just go in there and face it. If they flash in, they're gonna go for the try to find the kill on that Rafa there. Rafa is gonna maybe escape with his life. Nocturne Alonso gonna come in for the save. Should be able to find a kill or two. Shuffle comes through as well. 2 go down for the Saints, and Northwood just
disrupt in that backline. My goodness, Shimmer.
Unlucky. There's not a word for that besides unfortunate. The second one going to go as well. Going to get the near side. Alonso still out for blood. The Saints going to go, and Rafa going to hit the blast plant. And Rock will end up finding the kill, so keep that Vayne getting it. It's a Cyan is just such a good pick when he gets going. Look at Ricky body bagging Reppy just like that. Still going to escape. Maybe get that R back online too. Does still have his flash as well, so Ricky, he's going to sit in there. He's going to try to fight this out as long as possible. He is going to flash. Root is going to come through. Seraphine R is going to land. Charge does come through the exhaust as well. Ricky still somehow living. Looks like maybe one more Silverado. Going to put up the shield as well. Ricky, does he somehow escape with his life? They are sending everything after this man. One more Q. Massive damage. Ricky gets shut down. The passive comes through though. Will he be able to find the kill? Going to get a lot of auto damage. He might be able to find a kill or two here as well. Ricky, heal is going to come through, so Ricky, absolute.
At least it's a little bit of beef on your side, but at the same time, Izo 0-6, not too happy.
Yeah, R going to come through. Knockback as well. Going to land multiple combo. Izo going to fall once again. Just cannot seem to get it going this game. And once again, we saw Ricky. Ricky just standing in the bottom lane makes two players focus him. And even then, the Saints, if they have even a slight advantage, they're so far ahead in gold. And now they got the double Hex Tech Dragon as well. The Saints will pretty much win any team fight as long as they have 4 people grouped up. And Ricky split pushing the kill their tower. He's going to go near the tower, but they're going to be aggressive trying to find this kill. The Saints, they're going to push in and try to win this game.
Yeah, they might just end the game. Look at where Reppy is, just trying to push on that top side. This could be the end. They don't have enough manpower.
Baron minions too. This is going to be over for the Saints, and looks like it'll be at 23 minutes. The Saints just getting it done. The Scion pick coming out. The Nocturne pick was absolutely massive for the Saints this time, and that was a textbook game of League, if you're saying, Claire.
Yeah, that was fantastic overall. I mean, keep in mind is that Vayne hasn't died yet, and that's a really big factor of this game. You can see top side. Oh my.
Huge play by Ricky. Gonna land the R, gonna go for the Q as well. Alonso is lurking in the bush there, so they will actually be able to find this kill on Izo. So once again, Izo getting very, very aggressive, and he is gonna fall for his trouble. I don't think he had flashed up as well, so very dangerous. Rafa gonna find the kill on Shimmer. As you said, find the kill on Rafa. Rafa and Ricky gonna collapse here. 3 or 4 members of Northwood gonna fall up in the river as well. Gonna get the stun, gonna root him as well. Lots of damage coming through. Shimmer is gonna find the kill there. It looks like Ricky not looking in too good of a spot as well, but Cyan with that tanky HP gonna turn. Land the huge Q, fully powered, can actually turn this fight around. Looks like they're gonna find the kill. Shimmer's gonna fall once again, just not enough HP to stand in there and friend tank everything. And Saints once again, Ricky gonna land quite yet another Q. Lots of damage coming through. Big Grey Boy finds a kill. Shuffle is gonna come through as well. Alonso still giving chase, gonna flash on. Definitely should be able to find this kill. Gonna land the flea, landing a couple more autos here. Should find the kill. Alonso finds it. Ricky looks like he can find another kill as well. And the Saints go through. Is gonna hit the flea, gonna flash down there, try to go to safety. Renata R is gonna hit nothing though. Unfortunately, actually gonna get clipped for Reppy a little bit, but Rotham gonna find the kill on Shimmer. So you pointed out perfectly, Shimmer just not enough HP to get in there and tank these shots, especially with the Vayne already getting a couple items. Like you can't just go in there and face everything. Flash in and gonna go for try to find the kill on the Rafa there. Rafa is gonna maybe escape with his life. Nocturne Alonso gonna come in for the save. Should be able to find a kill or two. Shuffle comes through as well. 2 go down for the Saints, and Northwood just
disrupt in that backline. My goodness, Shimmer.
Unlucky. There's not a word for that besides unfortunate. The second one going to go as well. Going to get the near side. Alonso still out for blood. The Saints going to go, and Rafa going to hit the blast plant. And Rock will end up finding the kill, so keep that Vayne getting it. It's a Cyan is just such a good pick when he gets going. Look at Ricky body bagging Reppy just like that. Still going to escape. Maybe get that R back online too. Does still have his flash as well, so Ricky, he's going to sit in there. He's going to try to fight this out as long as possible. He is going to flash. Root is going to come through. Seraphine R is going to land. Charge does come through the exhaust as well. Ricky still somehow living. Looks like maybe one more Silverado. Going to put up the shield as well. Ricky, does he somehow escape with his life? They are sending everything after this man. One more Q. Massive damage. Ricky gets shut down. The passive comes through though. Will he be able to find the kill? Going to get a lot of auto damage. He might be able to find a kill or two here as well. Ricky, heal is going to come through, so Ricky, absolute.
At least it's a little bit of beef on your side, but at the same time, Izo 0-6, not too happy.
Yeah, R going to come through. Knockback as well. Going to land multiple combo. Izo going to fall once again. Just cannot seem to get it going this game. And once again, we saw Ricky. Ricky just standing in the bottom lane makes two players focus him. And even then, the Saints, if they have even a slight advantage, they're so far ahead in gold. And now they got the double Hex Tech Dragon as well. The Saints will pretty much win any team fight as long as they have 4 people grouped up. And Ricky split pushing the kill their tower. He's going to go near the tower, but they're going to be aggressive trying to find this kill. The Saints, they're going to push in and try to win this game.
Yeah, they might just end the game. Look at where Reppy is, just trying to push on that top side. This could be the end. They don't have enough manpower.
Baron minions too.
Welcome back, everyone. Rare Adam here with Jobin with Game 2 on the docket here between St. Clair and Northwood. Northwood came out real flat in Game 1. We'll just say it as it is. Wasn't the best of performances, but the Saints looked really, really, really good. I think probably the best performance we've seen from them all season.
Yeah, I think that's by far the most complete game that we've seen all season. The only thing, say early in the game, the only way to harp on them I had was you didn't just forget about the objectives, but later on they got everyone ahead. Then they realized, okay, we have the mobility, we have the universal, we can run around this map, we can make some plays happen. So really good job of them to bounce back. And I think, as you said, that's by far the best game I've seen in the last 2-3 weeks, maybe in the season so far.
Definitely, and especially when we get into this Game 2 draft, we'll have to see if there's any switch-ups coming through from Northwood, because I think they are a team that has a lot of potential. It's really difficult to judge them based off of that one-game sample size. Granted, St. Clair's basically won both of the matchups in scheduled games thus far. We'll see if they can take this third one and really have their numbers starting out kind of good, considering sometimes Northwood has our numbers in other esports to say.
And that's a really good thing about League, is that every single game plays out like totally different usually. Like there's so many different like variables and things that can change game to game. So Northwood, we know they're obviously well coached, very like smart team. They're gonna definitely make some changes, look to improve. So it'd be on the Saints to see if they can either like kind of counterpick the counterpick, or if they're ready for something that Northwood has up their sleeve, or what kind of comp they want to go for. So far we'll have to see what it gets under, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saints just hopefully more of the same for them. Northwood, as you said, definitely has to improve on some things, but they think there's things that they can be improved on, so we should see a much closer game too.
For sure. And I think looking at these bans already, I dare say salty run back, question mark, because these are the exact same 3 bans. And I mean, we talked about them earlier a little bit, but there's a 4th one at that. It's no real surprise, I want to say. These are kind of standard bans that you expect, especially considering what we saw the jungler come through with last game. Shimmer, maybe they're okay just giving over that Hector like that.
And say, we're going to see, so far, Deja Vu are in exactly the same ban. 6 through Trundle will be banned. That's Alonso's Trundle going to be gone too. So 6 for 6 as far as starting off last game. So are we going to see the old run it back?
Sometimes you just need a little bit of a reset in the brain. The Nocturne, though, it's a little bit scary to see Northwood opt for this. Granted, if they're going to do anything, it's probably going to be through these picks here. And for St. Clair, they don't need to change anything. As we say that, the Sejuani comes through. This is a little bit different. It's not the best matchup into Nocturne specifically, but if Shimmer just wants to be in there and be the tank, this is a better champion to do it than Hecarim.
I was like, that's something that definitely we're direly missing, because that Hecarim was like, they kind of ran it down early some of those fights, and once that what's supposed to be your frontline tank is gone, they didn't really have a secondary tank. It was a lot of like burst damage and a lot of kiting from the outside. They didn't really have that second wave to like face check everything. So Sejuani going to be a very solid pick. Going to see Caitlyn as well. So just kind of get that early bot lane aggression, get a lot of early damage in, and try to get that early lead as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting interaction we're going to see here as the Varus gets coming through as the answer here. Nocturne into Caitlyn is a really interesting matchup because Nocturne makes everyone nearsighted. The biggest issue is Caitlyn cannot take full advantage of her attack range, 650, with the Nocturne nearsighted coming through. So interesting interaction. It's something that we saw when Nocturne was picked into Kog'Maw before, when Kog'Maw had 700, 800 range or something. That was a difficult matchup when Nocturne was picked into it. Gonna be a similar situation here, but we get the Varus and the LeBlanc coming through. Despite this being a bot lane Varus, still likely to see the AP variant come through. It's been rising in popularity. It's sort of just one-shots tanks. It's really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and I thought maybe the Varus mid pick would come through. We've seen a lot of popularity we saw in the LEC and a couple other things, but looks like it'll be the LeBlanc commit. I think that's Bakery Boy. I think that's a comfort pick for him. I think we've seen him play LeBlanc a couple times the last few weeks, so definitely a pick they feel safe on. It's a solid pick overall. And we are going to see Karma rounding out the bot lane for Northwood as well.
Interesting option here. Normally you see something like a Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn Morgana to get that root trap down, something along those lines. Karma has the root available, so it's possible to set that up. It's just that we're going to have to see X really land those traps down at the right time, almost preemptively expecting the tether to land. So we'll see how that lane matches up. Of note, though, we get a little bit of a desynced draft here. If this is the Karma going support or if it's the Karma mid lane, still not the best of situations if you want to pick Karma into that LeBlanc, but we'll have to find out where everything shakes out. Of note, some top lane bans coming through. They don't want to see Ricky on the Scion again.
And I do not blame the Scion, because the thing with Scion, it's just such a frustrating champ to lose to, because it's almost like you can't do anything. You're like, it's like watching like someone die in slow motion. You're just like slowly watching them like gasp for air as a split push slowly comes. This was your last game. You just rush Hullbreaker, go a tons of health, and just say, all right, I'm gonna run in a straight line until this game ends. So solid pick coming out, and say another top lane. Gonna see the Darius ban coming through for Northwood, so they don't want to see Ricky's Darius, understandably so. And then gonna see the Vex ban come through for the St. Clair. Vex has been very, very strong recently, and I think plays pretty well into LeBlanc, so pretty good choice there for the Saints.
Basically able to just smush any of her jumps forward with the fear, so just want to avoid that. It sort of ruins the likes of Nocturne as well, because you can fear someone away, so a lot of disengage potential. They want to avoid that. Gonna be curious to see what this pickup is. They're gonna blind top lane once again with the Aatrox. Aatrox is a champion that some people think is good, some people don't think is so good. I'm on the table that it's quite a good champion. There's a Eclipse build coming through right now, which does a lot of damage. You heal a lot. Granted, it can have some really tough matchups, especially if you start to neutralize that lane out a little bit. Yeah,
so Aatrox has been pretty picked. So we're going to see the Gragas top come through. So I don't know if we've seen Ricky play on the Gragas yet. I think Gragas has been getting a little more popularity in the top lane, definitely has a good amount of agency. And Aatrox that's a pretty good decent choice obviously into the Aatrox. Aatrox, as we know, just fill that health bar 0 to 100 every single fight. So Gragas gonna a little bit of able to sustain himself as well. So it should be a pretty good back and forth in the top lane.
Yeah, and a big thing about Gragas is that it's another magic damage source, which means that maybe we don't see the AP Varus come through. Granted, AP Varus does not care how much MR you build.
Yeah.
Does not care
Ignore
a bit.
it.
Of note here, we get an interesting combo here. We got the Rel coming through, and this is a champion that has not received a whole lot of love. Got some buffs a couple patches ago. I'm a big fan of Rel as a champion. It's really good into Karma because you cut through the shields, but it's still a little bit out of left field. This is definitely something Rafa must be very confident on. It's a champion that can really struggle into some of these lanes if you're not going all in, so looks like we're going to have to look for some early engages, but oh baby, that's a spicy R5 pick. The Kassadin coming through. We all know what happens. You got to keep looking at the clock because level 16, it's castle win time.
Yeah, that's the thing for Northwood. The thing is, though, too, I think they have to say the bot lane, they definitely want to try and get ahead early, because last game we saw, even though I think there was a Sivir, just couldn't really get any agency going throughout the game. They can never set up a team fight where they could like get her, buy her time to land those autos, just chuck that W in there and get that ricochet damage. But Northwood definitely, I think this is a more solid or put together draft, especially with, I think the Sejuani will be able to like stay alive in those first bursts, especially if you build like tank items and everything. So they should have a little more front facing ability, like to keep that fight going longer, stop those one shot abilities. But definitely a very different draft from game 1.
Yeah, and I think biggest thing to keep in mind as well, Kassadin melee means that it can stack that Sejuani passive. It's one of those things that you always look for because it means that you can look for some gank setup from your solo laners, even when they don't really have it, because it just gives you a couple of Sejuani stacks. She's able to dash in and really able to go from there. So we'll see how this plays out. But of course, heading on to the Rift game it too shortly here. Oh, here we are right away as we'll see if St. Clair are able to clean up this sweep or if it will just be a nice series. We'll see if we'll get a series on our hand if Northwood are able to clean this one out.
I have to suspect it'll be closer than last game. I mean, it'd be kind of hard for it not to be, at least a little bit closer. So the Saints got to play on their egg game. No, actually, Rockboom, once again, Rockboom, he wants to be aggressive early. We've seen he wants to be aggressive early on. He wants to get that trade damage off early.
And something to note here, sort of the dead tell as to which Varus build it is based on the rune choices there. So lethal tempo generally means AD, and AD Varus is still quite good. You got Guinsoo's, which is quite a good item. You're just able to stack it up and continuously throw out your abilities to pop your blight stacks. The main thing is, I've been a big proponent of Varus for a while, even before it became popular. You get I can't say the word on stream, but definitely a lot of attack speed in those later stages in terms of what you get when you kill an enemy. I believe once you get to level 11, you get 100. You can get up to 110% attack speed for 7 seconds, and that's such a long time in League. 7 seconds is a long buff.
That's forever. Even with the sustained fights, that's enough time to chunk away something serious, especially the attack speed is crazy going up there. But gonna see a little early farming, gonna go for the early sweep, try to get some vision there. Gonna go for the early trade. Rafa is gonna walk up there, get the stun as well. So St. Clair, like we said, this bot lane, they really want to play, be the aggressors and get out there. But Rafa did take a decent chunk of damage there for his trouble.
Yeah, one thing to note here, Bakery Boy got the kill on the ward over by Blue Buff. This means that off of the first wave, he's gonna get level 2. This is big because Reppy can't walk up now. Cannot farm this wave at all. Gonna be really difficult. Another cool tech that we see here, that is a Doran's Blade start on the LeBlanc. She's just looking for auto attack poke in this lane with the first strike, just looking for a little bit of trading potential. It's an interesting start, but Bakery Boy showing how confident they are on this champion just by the changes that they've made for themselves already.
And I don't necessarily hate that because Kassadin is playing for the late game. He wants to get to level 16. I'll say the memes and everything. He wants to get to that late game. He wants to survive long. So to just try to jump out on him so early, and we saw the Saints do that. They want to jump out and get this early lead. So if Bakery Boy's able to get that huge gold lead with first strike, get that early damage, and just nullify that farm of Kassadin, it could be a very, very strong lane for him.
Yeah, gonna be curious to see what else comes through as well. I think that's the main thing we've got to keep our eye on in terms of early game possibilities, because Bakery Boy already taking control of this lane, but it's expected. We just need to see this LeBlanc really dumpster this matchup, levels 1 through 11. That's the main thing that we've got to look at, because as we get later on, this Kassadin will become even more relevant, especially if it gets into those side lanes.
Something about hearing the Gragas burp right in my ears is just unsettling and funny at the same time. I don't know what it is, but it's very, very funny. Bakery Boy got Reppy pretty shoved under the mid tower here. Gonna have a wave to play her with, so maybe get a couple hits on the tower there. Shouldn't be able to get a play quite yet, but once again, just keeping his foot on Reppy. Gonna get a level up though as well, so pretty good play there. And so far, just mid lane looking pretty strong for the Saints, although the farm is pretty even. And so far, looks like Iso gonna be very aggressive on this Aatrox. So not super surprising. Aatrox wants to get in there, wants to bully people, get those items online, and just start going to town.
And interesting to note, once again, this Crab sort of just handed over to the side of Shimmer by the looks of it, or that's what they give it over at that. And, Bakery Boy able to burn the flash in that mid lane. That's huge to burn both summoners off of the Kassadin. Granted, Professor Zerg there, as he sort of looks with the new visual update, just going to want to sort of get into that later stage of the game. Look at this, though. Rafa going aggressive.
And Alonso is playing on that back, so their flash is going to get burned. The Knight comes through as well. They are going to... Caitlyn's going to find the first one into the Rel there, so the Saints are going to fall, or going to get the first blood there. Rockboom still trying to get that trade damage. Might be able to find a kill here. Alonso going to get some damage, but we'll have to back off. I think Alonso, if he was maybe like a 0.5 seconds faster of getting up to that bush, maybe the Saints can turn and get a kill, but great job by Northwood to take advantage.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, especially with Glacial on Rel, it's so difficult to go in, especially on a Caitlyn and Karma, because they have so much kite back potential. Looking at the summoners burned, it's a decent amount burned as well off the side of Northwood, even trade back towards the side of St. Clair as well, but still, it's really tough in these lanes. You have to all in, because Rel going to be one of those champions that you're going to look to be your primary engage alongside this Gragas.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure your roams, your gank stick. Speaking of roams, Rafa's on the top side here, level 2.
Yeah, gonna show me they actually maybe gonna get a little bit of mix up there. ISO is gonna get away for the time being on a flash over the wall, so a little bit of a mix up there from the Saints. Maybe miscommunication or just not ready for the timing, but just one flash burned and he will escape with his life. So very good job to get out of the way there.
Honestly, I don't mind it as much in the grand scheme of things, mainly because you burn the flash, you don't burn anything on the enemies, on your side at least. You're able to get that off of ISO, now forced to teleport back to lane as well. The main thing about Rel is that you've got to bind to someone, and then you can wait 3 seconds before you're able to pop the bind on that. So that's the main thing about Rel. Champion, some thought she was clunky from the beginning. It's a champion that takes a little bit of getting used to, and it even seems like Rafa's just trying to get the hang of things here as well, just a little bit.
Well, I'd say, I don't know if the Saints, I'm sure they have like time on these champs or like a lot of picks, but we've seen these are a lot of like their off comfort picks. We hadn't seen the Varus busted a ton. I don't think we'd seen the Rel come out. I'm not sure we'd seen Ricky on the Greg, so it definitely looks like they may be trying some things or seeing how things work together. So a little bit of testing so far, but Northwood so far just playing a very, very clean game, holding on to that slight gold lead and just trying to make sure they play safe and find those picks when they're available.
And Rafa just sort of sitting around mid lane here, trying to help the wave get pushed in for Bakery Boy here. Reppy really not able to punish at this stage, but level 6 now, going to try and stop the resets. And Rafa just playing Gatekeeper here to make sure that Reppy doesn't go in.
Ricky, once again, just try to farm with this cannon and get this pushing on the Aatrox ISO. That's the good thing with Aatrox is that you can get away without recalling for such a long time. Even though he already recalled once, you can just get away, just keep landing those Qs, get that sustain up. And the one thing with Ricky is he can just try to play down Ricky's mana as long as possible. And then once that mana is like near 0, where he can like the cooldowns can't be there, try to get that all in, try to get that crazy damage. Maybe once he gets that R up as well. But Saiyans are going to show him the bot side here. Should be able to walk away with a killer. Going to get a great double knock up there. Freeze is going to be there too. Rafa going to find the kill into the Karma. Looks like might find a second kill here too. Fight in the river as well. Alonso chasing down.
No flash.
Should be able to find the kill. Yeah, no flash as well. Should be able to find the kill. He will. And the Saints are walking away with a bevy of kills here in the bot lane and the top lane. Little fight as well. Ricky doing a lot of damage to the Aatrox as well. So the Saints definitely a net positive.
Well played, honestly. Rafa just able to come around the side there. Haru playing way too aggressive there on the Karma. No flash on the Karma there. Wasn't really able to make anything stick. Didn't have the Ignite up either, so not enough damage to really finish off Rock Boom. And well played from Rafa to roam down after sort of taking a little bit of a vacation, going elsewhere for a little bit, but really happy to see that St. Clair were able to bounce back after a little bit of a tough early gank there.
Yeah, and that's the huge thing, especially you don't want to get behind us. Kate and Karma, very, very annoying to play from behind sometimes, especially Kate. I think slightly outranging Varus, especially before all the other stacks and everything. It looks like a little mid lane skirmish as well. Bakery Boy going to get the stun in the root. A little bit of damage. Now 2 are going to show. They'll try to back him off, get him under that tower. Get a little bit of prio for his boy in the mid lane there. Reppy looks like it's going to hit level 6 as well. So actually, Bakery Boy going to be almost a full level up. They're going to hit 7, but be hiding in that bush, trying to play in this river here. It looks like they're going to try to set up for Dragon though, it looks like.
Yeah, probably going to look to punish this just a little bit more from the side of St. Clair in terms of if they're going to play around this bot side. I mean, early dragons are going to be something that you can rely on when you've got something like a Sejuani who does dragons so quickly. Yeah, the jungler is topside here. Both of them are topside. Looks like Alonso's going to try and get that level 6 as quickly as possible and then try and punish one of these lanes that doesn't have that flash. Of note, X doesn't have that available for another 2.5, 3 minutes, and this is an opportunity for the side of St. Clair to really put this Caitlyn in the dirt. She's one of those champions that can fall into this mid-game trough, but look at this engage.
Yeah, fantastic job to start the engage. Rafa going to get the knock-up. Lots of damage coming through on Hero. Karma is going to fall to Rockboom, and the Saints are going to walk away with the kill, and they should be able to get some river pressure. This might end up turning into a dragon if they can somehow collapse. Flash going to go in, going to get the stun as well. They're going to go for this kill. They're going to a lot of damage and stun come through as well. Lots of damage. Rockboom going to find 2 kills. Massive swing in the bot lane for the Saints, and Bakery Boy just not able to stop the back there.
He got the first strike proc there, but really well played on his bottom side of the map. Really have to appreciate what this Rel is able to do in terms of all-ins. That's what that champion is all about. And, first one didn't work out so well. Second one, not bad. He got got 1 kill. Now you finally get it. 3rd time's the charm. You get both of those kills, and that's what this lane is all about. It's a kill lane. It is not trying to push in that wave. It's not trying to get a huge CS advantage. It's about killing your enemies as much as possible. And we were talking in the break, Rockboom hasn't had to carry a lot of these games. It's sort of been the secondary carry, just sort of going along for the ride, playing very well, but wasn't
3 kills and don't die.
Yeah, just, don't die. But here already, starting to become that sort of gold leader, that's really what we want to see. We want to see this AD carry be as rich as possible and be as relevant to accelerate this game, especially when you've got Reppy on this Cassidon on the enemy side. And we may talk about that champion a lot just because of how scary it is once you get to 16. Any League player knows Cassidon, late game menace.
Yeah, just you don't even let them get to the late game. You want to snuff it out before they even have a chance to come back and say get that scaling in. And now Ricky though, huge topside advantage, going to be up I think at least half a level there. Lots of damage. Maybe goes for the all-in, but just going to use a couple abilities there. And Izo very very low health even on the Aatrox. So Ricky once again finding top wave prio somehow some way. The Saints still trying to go for Dragon. Ricky can go for the all-in. It's going to flash right from the tower though. So actually probably a really good flash. So one more tower shot plus one more ability. Maybe would have fallen there. So Saints just make sure they try to hold on to that lead, play safe. They've made so many good plays the last 3-4 minutes. You don't want to throw it all away.
I think he's going for the Panunu combo there, but bot lane, oh boy.
Huge play. Nocturne are going to come through near side. Lots of damage coming through the side of Northwood as well. Root is going to be there. Chain CC'd. Cannot move. Stage should be able to find this pick in the alcove. They're going to try to knock down Shimmer. Huge tag from the Varus. He should be able to find this kill. They're going to shot towards bot tower, top tower as well. Bakery Boy should be able to find the kill. Going to get the all-in on Caitlyn. So once again, Northwood falling apart of the seams. Bakery Boy going to get caught a little bit though. Going to try to get the kill on Reppy, but is going to back him off up the river. So the Saints just kind of body bagging Northwood in that fight.
Yeah, this is the thing about Cassidon. You've got to try and leave that lane and try and find kills elsewhere because Cassidon's going to be very safe in the lane, still not going to do a whole lot of damage, so their roams are going to be so much less effective than the likes of Bakery Boy. And as you can see, items are basically the same between the two mid laners there, but so much more damage comes through from Bakery Boy, able to clean up that second kill, and already you can see playing to their win condition, playing towards this early game a lot more than last game. Even then, this mid-game comp coming through from St. Clair going to be really strong. It's just about ending the game as quickly as possible once again. If we have last game as our sample size, there's a good chance that they're going to win this one pretty early.
And if you're the Saints, you love the early strong start. You get the first dragon. You're already up almost 3k gold on the side of Northwood, so you're going to get a couple items earlier. Especially, like you said, getting that Varus online early is going to be so beneficial for for those team fights to either shred Sejuani and just for the laning phase, especially against Kate. Just like, look, it's just able to get so much damage out there and just from such a long distance as well, just being an absolute pest.
Hex Flash.
A lot of damage in the mid lane there. Yeah, Hex Flash. Knockup is going to go through, going to be airborne. They're going to try to find this kill in the bot lane. Looks like they will not be able to get away. Caitlyn should not be able to get away. Rafa going to get knocked up one more time. Flash going to come through for the Karma, but they'll get a couple sums. Will not find the kills, but if you're the Saints, you are definitely okay with that one.
Yeah, Chain of Corruption was coming up, I think, in like 2 or 3 seconds there, so just a little bit too early, I think, from Rafa, but, saw the opportunity, tried to pull the Magnet Storm down, forced the flash out of Haru at least, so...
That Gragas damage is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Gragas blows, oh boy.
Wow, huge fight. Bot lane, Rockboom with a massive kill. Gonna find 2, actually. Bot lane shredded to pieces. Rockboom still hanging alive. Still getting tags. Nearsight coming through. Rockboom still alive. Smile in the alcove is gonna get knocked down, but kills are gonna come through for the Saints. Alonso gonna find the kill on Reppy, and it looks like it'll be 4 members of Northwood falling ultimately. Couple more autos here to go. Another member showing over here. Bakery Boy is gonna come over, and another one will fall for Northwood. The Saints are rolling.
Yeah, really big play there. Can't wait to see the replay on that one because we get to see the true power of the Nocturne at that. It wasn't the engage that came through. It was the nearsightedness. Reppy went the wrong way with the Rift Walk and it let Rockboom do just that little bit extra damage to make sure that they could make that play, finish off on the right note. Now Rift Herald going bot lane. This lead is going so far in favor of St. Clair. That's a 5,000 gold lead at 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was just 2.5k less than 2 minutes ago, and now they doubled it since then. You're going to get the Rift Crash in the bot as well, and so hopefully we get to see a replay. Ricky, not going to know that Ezo's backing in that bush. That might have been, actually going to stop the back as well. Ricky, going to try to find a kill here. Maybe Izo still in that backside. Ricky maybe going to engage that top side. Over the all-in. Bakery Boy, massive damage coming through. Not going to find the kill, but more than enough to scare Caitlyn out of there. And now Ricky is going to try to find great job on the either. I think Izo going to get the stop there. And so far, the Saints, they are causing pressure in every which way.
Yeah, looking at that replay on the bot lane fight, even though there's so much more action there, look at this. Rockboom
deleted.
So much damage off the get-go there. We just missed it. But look at this. Reppy goes the wrong way. Rockboom able to read the room on that one, sort of. And after that, there's just so much damage coming through from Alonso. Doesn't even need mana at this point.
Just trapped in the alcove.
It's just a lethal tempo at this point. And then Bakery Boy coming in, just hand-gifted that last kill. They know the LeBlanc wants that extra gold. And, even though there was a shutdown coming through for Rockboom, 5, 1, and 4, already got that Kraken Slayer online. Bakery Boy... trouble.
should be able to get away. Is going to get the dash. They're going to try to the blast play. They are going to give chase, it looks like, but Bakery Boy definitely going to try to get out of dodge there. Still giving chase. Reppy is going to kind of go for the... Going to get the flash on Bakery Boy. Going to dash to safety, so should be able to get away with his life. They may try to tower dive, but topside, a lot of action going. Alonso going to get the near side. Ricky is there as well for the backup. Izo, nowhere to go. Look at the Aatrox heal, though, just getting half the health bar back. Still getting ticked down pretty hard, though. Alonso and Ricky still going for the 2v1. Is going to get knocked up for the time being, but Aatrox, such a hard kill to find. The Saints are going to try to find it, though. Alonso and Ricky, great move by Alonso, and Ricky finds the kill. Fantastic work in the top lane.
The Gragas combos on tap there. As I get to hear Aatrox's... Oh my goodness, that death sound was... that was not fun to listen to, but nonetheless, Ricky doing a great job of landing that combo. And yeah, it looked really dicey. Of note, not the Eclipse build, it's the Gore Drinker build coming through. So
that's what I thought it might, because you see the health bar just flash up 40%.
It was a massive heal, but nonetheless, very well played from Izo to stay alive for that long. But also a great play on the flip side from Ricky and Alonso to make it stick. And now sort of cheesing around here. They might look for Izo coming back to lane here. This is scary.
Yeah, this could be very, very sticky, especially at the side of Northwood. Top tower, once that wave crashes, they should be able to take top tower out, depending. Aatrox should get back to lane in time, but just going to go for the blue there. Shimmer going to pick up his blue and maybe move to the mid lane here, try to see if there's anything going on. But so far, I think just if you're the Saints, just 55 seconds slow drag. Obviously, I think the second rift is up right now, so you can try to play around these objectives and kind of make Northwood force into a fight, or just keep dominating the laning phase. Ricky should be able to take the tower here, maybe. Just one more down. 1 HP the tower, not going to fall quite yet, so Ricky can't go for the all-in quite yet. Izo going to try to hold that line of scrimmage for the time being.
I mean, look at the gold difference, though, across the board. It's just grown so much. 6,500 gold. Oh, my.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. That's going to be an easy kill for the side of the Saints. Near side flee. Everything lands. Full combos. Izo once again falling to the top lane duo there. And the Saints maybe got the pressure they need. They should be able to take this Rift Herald. They have time to probably take Rift and immediately path down towards Drag as well. So for the Saints, this will be very valuable. And Rafa going to go in and try to find some pressure right away, but he's have to back off a bit. Rock Boom is there, though. And the side of Northwood, you can see the second Rock Boom's face shows, they are in the retreat mode. They don't want any part of that right now.
A really good net coming through from X as well to be able to escape that play, but overall just so well played coming through from the side of Rock Boom and Rafa just to force that out. You know, they don't need to do much, but look at the damage these piercing arrows are doing.
Too. It's just like I don't know what you do about it this early in the game. But, Reppy gonna get caught out here possibly. He's gonna try to go in. Had no idea. 3 Saints are waiting with open arms. Gonna walk into his doom. Rock Boom once again gonna find the kill. 6, 1, and 4 already on the game, and the Saints are gonna look to re-engage here possibly. They have all 5 members, so they are more than happy for the re-engage. Looks like X is very low on health as well, or one of the members is very low on health as well. It's the Karma. Mid lane might be falling here. A lot of damage coming in. Bakery Boy gonna go for the all-in. Try to find the stun. Channel is gonna come through though. Gonna find a lot of damage. Caitlyn is gonna come through. Not quite find the kill, but a lot of stuns. Couple kills might come through for Northwood. Since gonna dive in there and find a kill. Bakery Boy sitting on 1 HP. And so gets absolutely shredded, and Rock Boom gonna walk away with yet another kill. Rift Herald mid as well, and the Saints just doing whatever they want. Northwood gonna try to stop this play. Rock Boom is gonna get shut down. This so huge kill for Izo, but so far Northwood, maybe they look to turn this fight. Rafa is gonna flash away, so that'll be the end of that fight. But if you're the Saints, definitely a good one for you.
Yeah, a little bit of an overstep from Rock Boom, though, as they end up giving over that shutdown to Izo. Not really the person you want to be giving that shutdown to, because this Aatrox has been starved out of so much gold, but nonetheless, a really strong play. Bakery Boy staying alive with slivers of health that entire time, and, you know, Haru being so low, really difficult to have any sort of impact. But yeah, Reppy just getting a little bit too aggressive, sort of fancied their chances a little bit too much going in on to the Rel, I believe it was. Definitely not the member you want to be engaging onto, but ends up paying the price as well.
Yeah, that's the problem. Just diving into no vision, it can be the greatest play ever, or you can dive into three blue members and you have no idea what you're ready for. And the Saints, once again, just the kill lead, the goal lead, the objective lead, everything seems to be kind of going in their favor right now. So I think if you're Saints, just you stay the course at this point, just slowly keep pressuring these lanes, try to make plays when they're there, and don't get too aggressive and too cute, and they should be able to play this game out pretty well. Bakery Boy is going to find a lot of damage there, so Ricky is going to chase down top lane, going to go after the Reppy, going to hit him with a stun there, with the Everfrost rather, going to find a little combo here. Flash is going to come through, going to keep chasing though, might be able to find the kill, going to be knocked up, huge knockback as well. Ricky is going to flash over the wall, so not going to find the kill, but fantastic job getting Cassidy to burn everything in his kit pretty much.
Yeah, Bakery Boy is going to have to get him this one though.
Stuck in the top lane, Alco blast play to buy himself some time. Ricky still giving chase to Reppy. Reppy's sitting at 1 HP. Will Ricky find the kill? He will, and Bakery Boy still escaping in this top side somehow. I have no idea how he's not dead yet, but 3 members of Northwood giving chase. And somehow Bakery Boy somehow doesn't get stopped there, still giving away. He will dash over the wall, and Bakery Boy's going to get away. I don't know how or why, but St. Clair somehow get away with it.
They've got Lady Luck on their side. They've got everything on their side at this point, because Bakery Boy somehow getting out without using the ultimate. I think burned the flash for it, but able to get that ultimate up just in time. This whole time, there's just objectives going down across the map. Alonso in trouble.
Oh, say huge damage going to be Alonso. Flash is going to come up, but I don't think that'll be enough. He should end up falling as well. And near side is going to come through, try to discourage some of the members of Northwood. Aatrox going to find another kill. Izo, yet again, Bakery Boy. Ignite going to be on him. Flash in, going to go in for the time to engage. TP is going to come through. Also Northwood. They want to flip this fight around, but the Saints are not giving away. Everfrost comes through. Mad damage from Rockboom. Huge damage. 2 kills for the Saints. Cassidy finds a kill on LeBlanc. Bakery Boy finally gets shut down. The Saints are not done yet. Rockboom flash kill on Kate. Massive damage. Double kill. And the Saints are still giving chase. Rockboom not done quite yet. All 3 members going. Ricky finds another kill, and the Saints are humming.
Oh my goodness, what a fight coming through from the Saints, as you can hear. Rafa just dropping down the Relaton.
That's what that was.
Coming along for the ride, but my goodness, Rockboom with a massive fight there. You can see
That
how much
damage is
damage
cracked.
this Varus is able to do, and Reppy, just no answers.
Reppy, you don't, listen. What Rockboom's carrying right now is illegal in most provinces in territory, so don't walk up there right now. Rockboom, just say 9-2-6 exactly last game and say, hopefully we catch another replay in a second here, but Rockboom, the damage is absolutely, like, this looks like a losing fight for the Saints on face value. Low HP on multiple members, Northwood getting the first kill, getting the shutdown, and somehow Saints turn this fight.
You can just see, it's Izo jumping in a little bit too deep. Bakery Boy's super low, and this is a really smart play from Izo to try and go for the kill, but Shimmer, once again, just blowing up.
Double
and a
Everfrost,
great
too.
Task there. That is the difference maker. Yes, it does cost a Bakery Boy their life, but look at Rockboom's damage at this point. You can't flash away from that auto, and Haru at this point is just Karma's not going to be able to live that one for all it's worth. And another kill going over to Ricky as well. 5-0-2 on this top lane. Gragas here. It's this bruiser, AP bruiser build that we've seen rise in terms of Gragas top lane. It's a pick that Ricky has played in previous seasons as well, so it's not something new, but overall just looking really, really strong. And this is Rockboom's world, and we're all living in it.
Yeah.
9-2-6, absolutely massive. You can see the itemization differences between the 280 carries, and every single time we see Rafa going in for one of these plays, it's a flash or a Gale Force burn by the Caitlyn. Ooh,
right Dave's going to come in. X going to try to get away or going to get near side. He is going to fall. Massive damage, Chunk Alonso. Knocking him down and knocking him out. Now this tower, once they can clear this way, they might be able to clear. Oh, he is going to find the kill on Bakery Boy. So going to get the kill there. Caitlyn going to get on the board. There's a little bit of gold in her pocket, but Saints going to end up, say, a little bit of wave prio top, going to find that second kill, and say Dragon to 45, so they're probably going to try to play around this Dragon. They might try to make a Baron play as well, but lots of members North top side, they are going to steal the red buff away from right under their noses. Fight is going to go in, the engage comes through, channel comes through, try to find the abilities there. Looks like a lot of damage going for the Saints. Rockboom is going to turn this fight Alonso, lots of damage. All the Saints are rolling. Rockboom finds another kill. Flash comes out, going to try to get away. Karma will not be able to escape this, I predict. Near side is going to do Ricky. Is going to hit the stopwatch. Saints are still going to give chase to this, so they can tank a couple tower shots, and they will do so. Lots of damage coming through. Only Reppy left on that top side, and this will either be Baron plus Dragon for the Saints, or at least the Baron.
My goodness, this performance has been magnificent.
Wow.
While it may not be the fastest victory that the Saints can manage, it's definitely more dominant than last game. Just in terms of these team fights, just every single one going their way, even when it looks dire for them. Look at the scoreboards across the board here. 1-1-17 on Rafa, the unsung hero, I want to say, out of this game. This Rel dies first blood. And we're like, are we sure about this Rel pick? But Rafa says, hold my horse. I'm going to go top side, I'm going to burn a flash, and ever since then has been in every single one of these engages, burning summoners left and right.
Yeah, the gold lead already sitting at about 13k. Going to get the Baron. This gold lead will just continue to increase. I suspect it'll be a setup for Drag here. They'll put them on soul point there, because Northwood cannot take a 5v5 fight. There's too much damage on the Saints backline there. Rockboom is just doing way too much damage. If Sejuani walks in there, she's going to get chunked down, and so far, this Northwood, you're kind of grasping for straws, because right now, nothing's really going your way.
There is one shining light. We've talked about it earlier, we'll talk about it again. Kassadin is that one win con, and Reppy here, level 13 out of 16, as we like to say. 2 items. I don't know if there's enough time. It's starting to get tough, but with how much time they've just been able to sit in these side lanes with no congestion, it's starting to get a little bit worrisome, because all you need is one big fight, picking up a lot of these shutdowns, picking up some objective bounties off the back end of it to end the game, but
Ricky Boy gonna maybe try to go for the all-in. This little fake out there, get some damage in, keep Northwood guessing there, keep them on their toes. TP is gonna come into that bot side turret. Ricky, they're gonna try to work on this turret. A lot of damage. Near side comes through. Everfrost gonna go through as well. Tons of damage coming through for the Saints. They're maybe should be able to find a kill. Turret's gonna go down and hit my fall as well. Multiple kills for the Saints. 3 are gonna fall at the tower, and the Saints, they're gonna walk this one into the Nexus and send Northwood packing in week 1.
forget about Castle and do not need to wait for that one. Seems like they already know what's coming for them, but St. Clair just going to walk this one in. What a performance from them in both games.
Yeah, just a clean performance from the Saints. Maybe try to find this last kill here, but 5 on the Nexus. Like we said, week 1, they will send Northwood packing 2-0 in about as clean a fashion as you could ask.
Just total game time between the two games, 47 minutes or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
There's games that go longer than that individually, but absolutely fantastic work coming through from the Saints. Really good start to the season and a great way to sort of cement yourself. You know, we were talking with the coach earlier. They said, you know what, we're looking at top 4. We're looking to be a force to be reckoned with this season, and that's as convincing as you can get. And we talked about how Northwood is a very strong team in their own right, but just fantastic game.
And we saw such a variation in both drafts too. The Saints just played 2 different styles extremely well until like almost to a T there. And as we said, like compared to the last couple of weeks, it was like a night and day both in the draft and the gameplay. They seemed like objectives. They were ready for those team fights. And as you said, even when it looked like they were going to lose 2 or 3 fights, they somehow just stay in there, land those abilities, land those, like get the cooldowns and like keep the fight going and end up turning it and winning it. And we saw every single member today, like A+ performance or S, like every single player today did their job. They played so well. No one really made any big mistakes in both games that were like, oh, that could be a turning point. It was just like, okay, someone may have died overextending, but it was never worth more than 1 kill.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that biggest takeaway here is just how well-rounded this roster can look. Ricky, 2 great games overall, and I think that's what we saw in activation as well when he pulled out the Yone against Ottawa. Just great games. It's what we expect out of Ricky at this point. Bakery Boy showing how confident they are on not only these sort of assassins with the LeBlanc, but also with the Azir. Alonzo just wow. Just great player coming through, and Rockboom finally able to show off in that last game. You know, showing that, hey, I may not be the carry in a lot of these games, but if the duty calls, I will be there. I'll be the soldier number 1, be at that front line, and Rafa just supporting that so well. 1-1 and 21 at the end of that game.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about Rockboom too, is just like, it's not necessarily a bad thing if we don't call the 80s name the whole game, because it means he either didn't do anything crazy as far as plays, but didn't make a lot of huge mistakes either. He was just playing in his role perfectly. When he was called upon for those fights, he was getting that damage in, he was keeping the CS up the entire time, and then once he got a slight lead there, you could see the Saints say they smell blood. Yeah,
you just saw how quickly they could turn around, turn on a dime, and just win the game off of that. But actually, we get to look at the divisions here. And you know what? We finally get to take a look at the other teams coming through. This would be fun.
So looks like coming down the pipeline, St. Clair obviously going to be first up, going to get that win over Northwood, but we're going to see University of Toronto, Ottawa, Garnet, York, Fisher, Purdue, and Rutgers all in the division here for the Saints. And who do you think? So the Saints got the first one under their belt against a very, top-notch school, very, very high up there as far as accolades. But who do you think would give them the biggest challenge out of the rest of this division?
I mean, there's no doubt that Fisher is a really strong school, basically taking Bay State and renaming them, we'll put it that way. Basically new schools, same faces, very familiar program to a lot of collegiate programs. They were runner-ups for CLL. We cannot take that away. This is a school that looks incredibly scary. I have to see how St. Clair are able to adapt, because you take down Fisher, you're looking really good for the rest of the season, especially considering we're not going to have a chance to go up against other top teams like Maryville, UST throughout the rest of most of this year. So we'll see how we do against Fisher. That is one to keep an eye on. One that I have a soft spot for, Ottawa Garnet. Got to talk about my old team. Still my current team in that sense. A couple of changes coming through. I think that's going to be a really fun matchup. I think that's our Week 8 matchup, and that one's going to be hard to cast. One's going to be, I want both teams to win. Why can't we have that? But UTM as well, a really strong school. I think that overall, this division is not going to be easy. And I think that there's a lot of schools that can give a run for our money. York as well. They've got some really strong players on there. Familiar name for those of you who paid attention to Proving Grounds. Sweet Tangerine role swapped actually to top lane to open up a spot. So there's some really interesting teams here, and I'm so excited for this season.
I almost want to call this like the group of death as far as who's the lineup and stuff. I was going to say St. Clair, great to get that first one though, especially when it comes to that playoff seeding later down the line or how things are going to shake out. You want to rack up those wins as often as possible. So even if you have those hard matchups, you have the games or maybe things don't go your way, especially against like a Fisher or Ottawa or someone, you're going to be ready for it. And the Saints so far, we talked to the coach earlier, gave us some game plan, some strategy, and a little bit of inside look. And so far, seems like everything they're doing is working.
Yeah, and obviously with this game, it's a 2-game sample size. We got to see 2 very different drafts, so we see what they're able to do. But of course, we'll have to see more over the course of the season. We'll have to see what they're able to put in their back pockets and sort of save as those secret picks. We heard that there's some tech brewing up. No leaks here. We are not going to leak a single thing. But, there is tech. There's always tech.
Yeah. That being said, though, keeping that for next time, this will be the end of our stream for today as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. St. Clair going to start off NECC, 2-0 win over Northwood. Very, very dominant fashion as well. So fantastic job to the entire team. And they'll have to catch them. I believe next week they'll have another match. So as that group of death reigns on, we'll see how things shake out. But we thank you guys all for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
as he sort of looks with the new visual update. Just going to want to sort of get into that later stage of the game. Look at this though, Rafa going aggressive.
And Alonso is playing on that back, so their flash is going to get burned. The Knight comes through as well. They are going to, Caitlin's going to find the first one under the rail there, so the Saints are going to fall, are going to get the first blood there. Welcome, Slither trying to get that trade damage, might try to get that all in, try to get that crazy damage, maybe once he gets that ARP as well, but Saints are going to show him the bot side here. Should be able to walk away with a killer, going to get a great double knock up there. Freeze is going to be there too, Rafa. Going to find the kill into the Karma. Looks like, might find a second kill here too. Fight in the river as well. Alonso chasing down. Should be able to find the kill. Yeah, no flash as well. Should be able to find the kill. He will. And the Saints are walking away with a bevy of kills here in the bot lane and the top lane. Little fight
to really put this Caitlyn in the dirt. She's one of those champions that can fall into this mid-game trough, but look at this engage.
Yeah, fantastic job to start the engage. Rafa going to get the knock-up. Lots of damage coming through on Hero. Karma is going to fall to Rockboom, and the Saints are going to walk away with the kill, and they should be able to get some river pressure. This might end up turning into a dragon if they can somehow collapse. Flash going to go in, going to get the stun as well. They're going to go for this kill. They're going to get a lot of damage, and stun come through as well. Lots of damage. Rockboom going to find 2 kills.
I think he's going for the Panunu combo there, but bot lane, oh boy.
Huge play. Nocturne are going to come through near side. Lots of damage coming through the side of Northwood as well. Root is going to be there. Chain CC'd. Cannot move. Stage should be able to find this pick in the alcove. They're going to try to knock down Shimmer. Huge tag from the Varus. He should be able to find this kill. They're going to shove towards bot tower, top tower as well. Bakery Boy should be able to find the kill. Going to get the all-in on Caitlyn. So once again, Northwood.
Oh boy.
Wow, huge fight. Bot lane, Rockboom with a massive kill. Gonna find 2 actually. Bot lane shredded to pieces. Rockboom still hanging alive. Still getting tags. Nearsight coming through. Rockboom still alive. Smile in the alcove is gonna get knocked down, but kills are gonna come through for the Saints. Alonso gonna find the kill on Repi, and it looks like it'll be 4 members of Northwood falling ultimately. Couple more autos here to go. Another member showing over here. Bakery Boy is gonna come over, and another one will fall for Northwood. The safety soul should be able to get away with his life. They may try to tower dive, but topside, a lot of action going. Alonso gonna get the near side. Ricky is there as well for the backup. Izo, nowhere to go. Look at the Aatrox heal though, just getting half the health bar back. Still getting taken down pretty hard though. Alonso and Ricky still going for the 2v1. Is going to get knocked up for the time being, but Aatrox, such a hard kill to find. The Saints are going to try to find it though. Alonso and Ricky, great move by Alonso, and Ricky finds the kill. Fantastic work in the top lane. Handle is going to come through though. Gonna find a lot of damage. Caitlyn is gonna come through, not quite find the kill, but a lot of stuns. Couple kills might come through for Northwood. Sejuani gonna dive in there and find a kill. Bakery Boy sitting on 1 HP. Sejuani gets absolutely shredded, and Rockboom gonna walk away with yet another kill. Rift Herald mid as well, and the Saints just doing whatever they want. Northwood gonna try to stop this play. Rockboom is gonna get shut down. This so huge kill for Izo, but so far Northwood maybe they look to turn this fight. Rafa is gonna flash away, so that'll be the end of that. So huge damage gonna be Alonso. Flash is gonna come up, but I don't think that'll be enough. He should end up falling as well. Nearsight is gonna come through, try to discourage some of the members of Northwood. Aatrox gonna find another kill. Izo yet again. Bakery Boy Ignite gonna be on him. Flash in, gonna go in for the time to engage. TP is gonna come through. Also Northwood, they want to flip this fight around, but the Saints are not giving away. Everfrost with mad damage from Rockboom. Huge damage. 2 kills for the Saints. Cassidy finds a kill on LeBlanc. Bakery Boy finally gets shut down. The Saints are not done yet. Rockboom flash kill on Kate. Massive damage. Double kill. And the Saints are still giving chase. Rockboom not done quite yet. All 3 members going. Ricky finds another kill, and the Saints are humming. Steal the red buff away from right under their noses. Fight is going to go in. The engage comes through. Channel comes through. Try to find the abilities there. Looks like a lot of damage going for the Saints. Rockboom is going to turn this fight. Alonso, lots of damage. All the Saints are rolling. Rockboom finds another kill. Flash comes out. Going to try to get away. Karma will not be able to escape this, I predict. Nearsight is going to do. Ricky is going to hit the stopwatch. Saints are still going to give chase to this, though. They can tank a couple tower shots, and they will do so. Lots of damage coming to that bot side turret. Ricky, they're going to try to work on this turret. A lot of damage. Nearsight comes through. Everfrost going to go through as well. Tons of damage coming through for the Saints. They're maybe should be able to find a kill. Turret's going to go down. The hit might fall as well. Multiple kills for the Saints. 3 are going to fall at the tower, and the Saints, they're going to walk this one into the Nexus and send Northwood packing in week 1.
Forget about Castle and do not need to wait for that one. It's like they already know what's coming for them, but St. Clair just going to walk this one in. What a performance from them in both games.
Yeah, just a clean performance from the Saints. Maybe try to find this last kill here, but 5 on the Nexus. Like we said, week 1, they will send Northwood packing 2-0 in about as clean a fashion as you could ask.
Just total game time between the 2 games, 47 minutes or something like that.
Like that, yeah.
There's games that go long. Zerg there as he sort of looks with the new visual update. Just going to want to sort of get into that later stage of the game. Look at this though, Rafa going aggressive.
And Alonso is playing on that back, so their flash is going to get burned. The Knight comes through as well. They are going to, Caitlin's going to find the first one under the rail there, so the Saints are going to fall, are going to get the first blood there. Rockboom still trying to get that trade damage, might try to get that all in, try to get that crazy damage, maybe once he gets that ARP as well, but Saints are going to show him the bot side here. Should be able to walk away with a killer, going to get a great double knock up there. Freeze is going to be there too. Rafa going to find the kill into the Karma. Looks like, might find a second kill here too. Fight in the river as well. Alonso chasing down. Should be able to find the kill. Yeah, no flash as well. Should be able to find the kill. He will. And the Saints.
Welcome back, everybody, to the stream. Right now, we have a very important interview with my boys. we have Ricky, the top laner, and I believe I haven't met you yet, but I believe you are the support player, correct?
Yeah.
What's your name again?
My name is Rafa.
Nice to meet you. So, from what I heard, it was an absolute stomp.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say absolute stomp. I think
Okay.
we had a plan going into these games, and we just kind of followed up with our plans. Like,
Okay.
we knew their top laner was a hard priority on Maokai. As soon as he picked it, we had an answer. We knew going into draft Sion was going to be the answer.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, we've played against them on this matchup before, and the same thing happened.
Okay.
Like, this
Were-
is something we've practiced.
Okay, that's good. Were there any like key points that you guys wanted to mention again? I noticed that you picked Rel. Rel's
Yeah.
not a normal pick for you, I'm assuming?
Well, I'd say I'd be practicing her a lot, but no, we haven't picked her a lot in like regular games.
Okay.
But it's a really good counter to an Enchanter, so it was really easy to like abuse them once we got a lead. So that's what that pick is for. It's really weak early game, but then once you get a lead, it's just so broken. So yeah, the Rel is kind of a. I don't pick it a lot, but whenever I pick it, just a pop-off pick for sure.
Yeah.
It looked like it did from what I saw at the very end. But final question. I remember that I stopped by the room. I don't think you were in there yet, or at least I'm not sure of. But I remember talking to you guys about the team comps. So are there any hints that you guys can give us for what we could expect in the future?
I mean, going forward, there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of hints I can give you, I would
Okay.
say. You can expect to see a lot of the same thing you've seen from us so far,
All right.
but we're always practicing new stuff, so you never know when a new pick might show up.
What about you?
Yeah.
Any hints that you can give us? Not really?
Not really as well. Like we've been practicing like special type of comps, like pick comps or like siege comps, but you know, we always are looking to, you know, learn new champs and having new comps. So we can't really speculate on what we're gonna pick for the next weeks, and it always depends on who we're playing against.
For sure.
But yeah. that's
Are
it.
there any final thoughts? Actually, one thing that I did want to mention, we did get to interview your coach before the broadcast started
Tyler.
today. He said that you guys are aiming for top 4.
Top 4 is where we want to be. Like, we think top 8 was our initial goal,
Okay.
but right now, with how far we've progressed in this short amount of time, we are aiming to be in California and to compete. Like, we
Let's
want to
go.
be like playing against the top teams.
Will I be invited?
Depends. You're gonna cast.
I'll cast it. No issues at all.
There you go.
Any final thoughts for you too?
Well, I agree with him. I think top 4 would be absolutely insane. As a new team, it would be, yeah. Even getting like top 8 would be absolutely insane. But yeah, top 4 would be like our ultimate goal, and we'll be practicing for it. So you guys can expect us to, you know, really like have really good synergy, and yeah, we're gonna get better over time, and I think we can compete with these better teams that have been there for a while. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, we'll get there.
For sure. Well, thank you for coming in for the very quick interview. Great job playing today, and we hope to see more from you guys
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you.
Saints.
Sorry. Thank you to everybody watching at home. We hope to see you soon.
As he sort of looks with the new visual update, just going to want to sort of get into that later stage of the game. Look at this, though. Rafa going aggressive.
And Alonso is playing on that back, so they're flashing.
Zerg there as he sort of looks with the new visual update. Just going to want to sort of get into that later stage of the game. Look at this, though. Rafa going aggressive.
And Alonso is playing on that back, so they're flashing and they get burned. The Knight comes through as well. They are going to. Caitlin's going to find the first one into the Rel there, so the Saints are going to follow, are going to get the first blood there. Welcome, sort of trying to get that trade damage. Might try to get that all in, try to get that crazy damage. Maybe once he gets that ARP as well. But Saints are going to show him the bot side here. Should be able to walk away with a killer. Going to get a great double knock up there. Freeze is going to be there too. Rafa going to find the kill into the Karma. Looks like might find a second kill here too. Fight in the river as well. Alonso chasing down.
No flash.
Should be able to find the kill. Yeah, no flash as well. Should be able to find the kill. He will. And the Saints are walking away with a bevy of kills here in the bot lane and the top lane. Little fight
To really put this Caitlyn in the dirt. She's one of those champions that can fall into this mid-game trough, but look at this engage.
Yeah, fantastic job to start the engage. Rafa going to get the knock up. Lots of damage coming through on Hero. Karma is going to fall to Rockboom, and the Saints are going to walk away with the kill, and they should be able to get some river pressure. This might end up turning into a dragon if they can somehow collapse. Flash going to go in, going to get the stun as well. They're going to go for this kill. They're going to get a lot of damage, and stun come through as well. Lots of damage. Rockboom going to find 2.
I think he's going for the Panunu combo there, but bot lane, oh boy.
Huge play. Nocturne are going to come through near side. Lots of damage coming through the side of Northwood as well. Root is going to be there. Chain CC'd. Cannot move. Sage should be able to find this pick in the alcove. They're going to try to knock down Shimmer. Huge tag from the Varus. He should be able to find this kill. They're going to shot towards bot tower, top tower as well. Bakery Boy should be able to find the kill. Going to get the all-in on Caitlyn. So once again, Northwood.
Oh boy.
Wow, huge fight. Bot lane. Rockboom with a massive kill. Gonna find 2 actually. Bot lane shredded to pieces. Rockboom still hanging alive. Still getting tags. Nearside coming through. Rockboom still alive. Smile in the alcove is gonna get knocked down, but kills are gonna come through for the Saints. Alonso gonna find the kill on Repi, and it looks like it'll be 4 members of Northwood falling ultimately. Couple more autos here to go. Another member showing over here. Bakery Boy is gonna come over, and another one will fall for Northwood. The safety soul should be able to get away with his life. They may try to tower dive, but topside, a lot of action going. Alonso gonna get the near side. Ricky is there as well for the backup. Izo, nowhere to go. Look at the Aatrox heal though, just getting half the health bar back. Still getting ticked down pretty hard though. Alonso and Ricky still going for the 2v1. Is going to get knocked up for the time being, but Aatrox, such a hard kill to find. The Saints are going to try to find it though. Alonso and Ricky, great move by Alonso, and Ricky finds the kill. Fantastic work in the top lane. Handle is going to come through though. Gonna find a lot of damage. Caitlyn is gonna come through, not quite find the kill, but a lot of stuns. A couple kills might come through for Northwood. Sejuani gonna dive in there and find a kill. Bakery Boy sitting on 1 HP. Sejuani gets absolutely shredded, and Rockboom gonna walk away with yet another kill. Rift Herald mid as well, and the Saints just doing whatever they want. Northwood's gonna try to stop this play. Rockboom is gonna get shut down, so huge kill for Izo, but so far Northwood, maybe they look to turn this fight. Rafa is gonna flash away, so that'll be the end of that. Huge damage gonna be Alonso. Flash is gonna come up, but I don't think that'll be enough. He should end up falling as well. And Nearside is gonna come through, try to discourage some of the members of Northwood. Aatrox gonna find another kill. Izo yet again. Bakery Boy Ignite gonna be on him. Flash in, gonna go in for the time to engage. TP is gonna come through. Also Northwood, they want to flip this fight around, but the Saints are not giving away. Everfrost with mad damage from Rockboom. Huge damage. 2 kills for the Saints. Cassidy finds a kill on LeBlanc. Bakery Boy finally gets shut down. The Saints are not done yet. Rockboom flash kill on Kate. Massive damage. Double kill. And the Saints are still giving chase. Rockboom not done quite yet. All 3 members going. Ricky finds another kill, and the Saints are humming. Steal the red buff away from right under their noses. Fight is going to go in. The engage comes through. Channel comes through. Try to find the abilities there. Looks like a lot of damage going for the Saints. Rockboom is going to turn this fight. Alonso, lots of damage. All the Saints are rolling. Rockboom finds another kill. Flash comes out. Going to try to get away. Karma will not be able to escape this, I predict. Nearside is going to do. Ricky is going to hit the stopwatch. Saints are still going to give chase to this, though. They can tank a couple tower shots, and they will do so. Lots of damage coming to that bot side turret. Ricky, they're going to try to work on this turret. A lot of damage. Nearside comes through. Everfrost going to go through as well. Tons of damage coming through for the Saints. They're maybe should be able to find a kill. Turret's going to go down and hit my fall as well. Multiple kills for the Saints. 3 are going to fall at the tower, and the Saints, they're going to walk this one into the Nexus and send Northwood packing in week 1.
Forget about Castle and do not need to wait for that one. It's like they already know what's coming for them, but St. Clair just going to walk this one in. What a performance from them in both games.
Yeah, just a clean performance from the Saints. Maybe try to find this last kill here, but 5 on the Nexus. Like we said, week 1, they will send Northwood packing 2-0 in about as clean a fashion as you could ask.
Just